Hello everyone, if you're new here, welcome to the Justin Hollen podcast, and if you're returning, welcome back. For those of you that don't know what this podcast is about or who I am, my name is Justin Hollen, and this is a podcast where I host long-form conversations with friends, academics, associates, and professionals around the range of topics that I think will bring value to you and the rest of the internet. First, I'd like to say that I appreciate all of you for being here and giving me your time, and if you'd like to support the channel so I can continue to grow and expand the guests I have, I ask that you guys please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a friend or family member. And if you're watching this and know someone that you think would be an interesting guest on this podcast, or you want to come on this podcast, please message me on Instagram or leave a comment down below. So on today's podcast, I have my friends Dylan, Seace, and Peter Sallemi, who are current real estate agents in Charlotte, North Carolina, and who I'm confident to say will be some of the biggest names in the market in the next couple of years. And today, we not only talked about real estate, but also how to stay hungry, how to continuously chase success, balancing this with life and relationships, and we even discuss some common misconceptions in today's society and where they come from. There's a tremendous amount of value that came from this podcast from the both of them, so I hope you all enjoy this conversation that we had. Wait, why'd you go into real estate?
There's no cap. I work really hard, and I wanted something that matches my work ethic and would reward me for how hard I worked. And especially, like, I'm big about growth and generational wealth. I want to be able to have my grandkids go like, hey, yo, how was granddad? And my son's like, oh man, you don't even know how cool this dude was. Like, he paid for your kids' college. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to take my family out of debt, and that was a big part of it.
Okay. What was your reason again? I think I asked you this.
Yeah, probably. I mean, my reason for getting in was pretty much the same, but my reason for staying is completely different.
What it changed to?
Well, I mean, everybody wants to get in because of the flashy dollar bills that you can. Like, everybody gets in and they're like, you know what? In 2 months in real estate, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to own a mansion. And then you get in and, you know, you have to, like, it's a lot of work. And generally why I do it is because I know if I do this for the next 5 to 10 years and work now, I'll be able to play in my 30s. Instead of, you know, when I'm 30 then being like, I wasted my entire 20s drinking at a bar. Now I really need to secure that good job.
Yeah.
Instead of, it takes just the first stressor of life, which is money, off the table.
Dude.
I mean, I can attest. It's been 2 weeks. No money yet. Yeah, he's not wrong.
Wait, what do you mean?
I haven't made a single cent, and I'm probably not going to make a single cent for the next 2-3 months.
So when did you start?
2 weeks ago.
So you started. So did you get your?
When did you start the process?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I got out of the Marine Corps last February. I got my job at the bar, and so you want me to? This entails into how I met Dylan.
Oh yeah, actually, I don't know how you guys met.
So
yeah.
I was on Tinder.
No, hold on, hey, yo, can we preface that a little bit different?
Hey,
like,
there was the
we
pause
met
was there
at
for a
a bar.
reason. Hey,
no, bro.
Hey, no,
way you started that
I'm bringing
is
it back
insane.
another week.
Yeah,
all right,
well,
we did not
don't
meet
be
on
throwing it
Tinder.
back, that's all I
it
gotta
was
say.
Grindr, but so I was on Tinder and I met this redhead. Right?
Oh my god.
We were talking for like a week and a half.
Uh-huh.
Not exclusive, and she invited me out to the bar one night. And so her friend Dylan's here, and we start talking at the bar, and I'm like, yo, where is she? And I turn around, and she's like tongue deep in some LaMelo Ball looking motherfucker. And I'm like, damn. And I looked at him, I was like, is that common? He was like, yeah. And I was like, oh no. Okay. And then that's how I met him at the Union.
It's really funny because I met her because we used to sleep together, so I knew everything about her. So it was just a very, very messy friendship.
Yeah. What the? Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it was a date.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was like, hey, you want to come to the bar with me tonight?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go meet people. She was like, my friends are going to be there. I want you to meet Dylan. You'll like him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Me and her were not sleeping together at that point. Me and her were both already like, yeah,
We're done.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. So then y'all became friends after that.
Yeah, no, I was talking. We had a good conversation at the bar, and then when LaMelo Ball stole my redhead, I was like, you know, what's up, man? What do you got going on? And then we started having a conversation, and we happily ever after.
That is kind of insane. Cause I mean, I thought, all right, so did you get him into real estate?
Yeah, he was the one who introduced me to it because
Really?
I was originally going to use my GI Bill, do engineering, but then when I was talking to him, he kind of saw like the same things that he was driving for, and that's when he introduced me to it.
Okay.
I conned him like a 60-year-old woman.
Yes, he did. He made $500 when I joined the team, and I didn't even get tacos.
Dang.
Yeah.
So it's not like one of those where you join and you guys both get money. It's like
Nope.
he gets some.
Nope.
Well, so how it works is I'm bringing him to the team. So it's not like I made money preferably off him. It's like I'm bringing talent on the team. So we're incentivized to bring talent that's like us because they know if I'm an A player, so I'm going to know other A players.
Okay.
So, and Peter was just an A player that I knew that was like, all right, this would be a perfect fit.
And I'm not gonna lie, like it's been rough.
Yeah.
It's been rough.
I'm
a very upfront person. Like I've made over probably 1,000 calls already, and it's been rough.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, when did you make your? I guess like because it's all commission. Is that how it is?
Fully commission.
It's fully commission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long did it take?
To make money, just my first dollar,
Yeah.
like 6 months. Yeah, it's not everybody, like that's what I'm saying. Everybody wants to get into the business because they see these movies and these TV shows of agents doing well. But last year, out of the agents that actually closed houses, and worldwide, less than like 5% actually closed more than 2 or 3 homes.
Really?
Like it's a very, very cutthroat business.
I was gonna say, and it's like concentrated at the top,
Yeah.
right? I'm assuming.
And it's one thing that like in a short term, I got told it's not how much you know, it's how much you care. And so obviously it pays dividends to know and you need to know, but unless you can, call somebody and be enough of their friend and, hear what's going on and like see how you can help them, they're not going to want to work with you. You're just some guy on the phone. You have to, for lack of a better word, learn how to be a friend to everybody to actually start getting into where you need to be. Am I wrong in that sense?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you have to. I mean, building the network is probably the hardest.
Yeah.
So
Or-
there's
And I'm an asshole,
There's
so
multiple
it's-
ways of doing the business. So a lot of people think it's like that. Like Justin and you're part of my network. We do it a little bit differently because looking from Peter, I mean, he went to the military, so he doesn't know anybody around here. Plus 22, 23? 23. So guess what? All of his friends can't afford a house.
Yeah.
Same thing here. 25. All my friends can't afford a house. So our network's gone. So it takes a lot of hustle to find people within those brackets. Because one, we don't think how they think. Because I think like a 25-year-old, all I care about is booze, boobs, and I'm not gonna finish the last one.
But
Yeah, I couldn't think of one. But anyways, so it's like hard to, because you have to learn how to get into these spheres of people and, build it. And then also there's another way, which is just calling listings that were trying to sell with a different agency, couldn't sell, and then using our marketing plan. And that's why it's a cutthroat business.
And as a new guy, like how that's perceived to me is like I got to list everybody, and so I'm calling people that just you okay?
No.
I'm calling people that just got their house off the market that didn't sell, so they're all frivolous, mad at the real estate agent, and so you're calling them like, hey, I could be better than that guy, I promise. And you gotta actually put that forth in the right manner to convince, and especially being new, because I'll hear the other guys on the phone like they'll just come out with the wildest question I haven't heard, and you'll hear the other person on the line fold and like, yeah, I'll meet with you, and then I'm over here like, hey, so I'm calling about this property. Is it for sale? Fuck you. I'm like, oh God.
Dude, that's gotta be brutal. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Especially convincing somebody that you're like a 23 or 25-year-old that like, hey, like
Yeah.
I can help you.
Investing $1 million, for lack of a better word, I can't find the better word. Either way, I'm trying to convince a 50-year-old millionaire to confide in a 23-year-old to sell their house. You know what I mean?
I will say one thing. When you get more experience in the business, it's less convincing, more of providing. Like now when I get on the phone with somebody, and yes, he's 100% right. In the beginning, I was trying to convince anybody to meet with me. But now it's like, I don't know if I want to meet with you.
Really?
Because-
Okay.
Yeah, because time is money. And at the end of the day, if you're going to be a knucklehead on the phone, when we sit down, we start negotiating and everything, you're going to be a knucklehead over $1,000-$2,000 on a $500,000 house. So do I really want to take the time, drive 45 minutes out to the house, spend 2-3 hours sitting down with you, going over a marketing plan, spend $3,000 on just marketing it and getting on the market, X, Y, and Z, then that's just the first week of us talking and getting together.
And talking on to how he says like providing, I've realized that I didn't see this coming, especially in real estate. But I mean, at least the team we're in, like it's a big. You really have to drop ego, and that's how you have to get through it. Because I'm over here like, oh, I'm taking all these L's. What's wrong with me? You can't think like that. You have to keep going. Like if you let the person on the phone get to you, you're gonna kill every call after. And especially like with the talking about the providing. That's kind of how you want to structure those calls or talking to them. It's not about convincing. That's like, oh, you're a salesman. Hey, I can provide you this good knowledge. I found your problem. This is how I can fix it. You have no reason not to meet with me. You know what I'm saying?
So what is like the marketing plan? Because you said like the $3,000. Like what even? I don't even know. Like what would you? If you're about to sell a house, like what's the plan? What's the blueprint? Or can you say that?
That's a really great question. Are you trying to sell your house?
Yeah, this apartment that I don't own.
Well, there's a lot of different things that go into it. And generally, I could spend the next 30, 45 minutes explaining it to the camera. But at the end of the day, I mean, like he said, no one really cares what I can do and what the marketing looks like until you show them that you actually care about them and can accomplish it. What I would be more curious of was what kind of questions you got on that laptop.
I see you writing. I see you tippy type.
As when I get an idea, I don't know. I'm just throwing.
We got to turn the hot seat around.
There's nothing crazy.
Huh? We're gonna turn tables. Switch seats.
All right, let's. You want to ask me the big questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do babies come from?
What job do you think you'd have in the 1800s?
Ooh. Whoa. Boy. Oh God. Boy. Oh. What I think I would have, or what I'd want.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's
actually,
a good preference.
I mean, would you not have the job you want?
No.
I mean, no. I would probably be born into poverty and working in the factories.
Personally,
that's true.
I'd get the job I wanted. But
all right, guy.
I mean, it's easier to work your way up back then, I feel like.
Yeah, but none of us would be able to read.
I mean, but if you learn to read, you're like leaps and bounds ahead of everybody.
Yeah, for real.
You know what? I'd be the owner of one of those ice companies. Because I'm not gonna lie, I read about this yesterday. It's so crazy. But they used to like transport massive, like 1,000 pounds.
Oh, sorry.
You don't call me stupid, but I'm gonna look up the 1800s.
My bad. I thought you said ice.
Yo, no, bro. Yeah, listen.
My bad. Sorry. All right.
Now they used to have these massive ass ice blocks, and they kept them in sheds and barns, and that's how they kept ice throughout the summer.
Refrigerators. That's how it was like the first refrigerator for that time.
I'd own one of those companies. They made bank.
Genius, because you have to keep on buying it. It's just like owning a Walmart. Like they make so much money because it's consumables that you'll continuously have to. The business model's genius.
Yeah, I'd be an ice maker in the 1800s.
Where'd they get the ice from?
They chopped it off and tugged it miles.
Do you know what's crazy? Do you know any paper you write on in a book, on a notebook? Did you know that there's farms for trees for that piece of paper? They don't just cut it down in the forest. The papers for trees is actually, when you use paper, it's good for our economy and good for our ecosystem because they're planting more trees. So one, it's getting more trees, so more trees are sucking up the carbon dioxide. Two, it's stabilizing the economy because it's bringing more jobs. So for people who think that it's actually like paper and stuff like that is bad, I forget how I got on this, but anyways.
But I mean, trees don't grow as fast as paper's made.
Okay.
That was gonna be the question. Yeah. Are we
yeah,
consuming it faster than we're growing it?
No. There's literal business models based off it, just like Walmart.
Like zero.
It's zero net. Kind of thing. Like it's perfect. It's a business model. I mean, if they had a business model that they had not enough trees, don't you think it would fail by now?
I mean,
how long have we had paper for?
That's true. We have. I mean, but we're getting away from paper also.
True.
I feel like we're gonna shift back.
Yes, because it's for the misconception that it's terrible, and I'm not saying it's the best thing from sliced bread. All I'm saying is it's not as bad as people think. Because the point was the ice. So how they're getting the ice is they made farms for literal ice, and that's what they'd farm. It's just blocks of ice. Like it was someone's job to keep the water filled, and then there was jobs for cutting the ice, and then there was jobs for transporting. Just like Amazon, someone's packaging the Amazon package, someone's scanning the barcode, and someone's delivering it. It's just
same thing.
We're gonna label this podcast "History of Ice."
History of Ice.
Actually, neither of you answered the question. Actually,
yeah, not with everything that's going on. Probably not the best name.
Yeah, probably not.
Shit, fuck.
Yeah, especially two white dudes explaining the history of ice.
Nah, chill.
Yeah, that's
I'll pass.
one-way street.
Wait, so can we get back? What would your job be in the 1800s?
I think ice is a good one. Yeah, like
I
ice.
think that's pretty genius.
Dude, yeah, because I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, dude.
That is crazy.
I was
Yeah.
watching one of those Wild West parody movies, and like that big ass block ice dropped on somebody, and I was like, huh? And then I did like some deep dive into it.
Dude, that's got to be a terrible way to go out. Ice crushing you?
I mean, it's like it's heavy. I mean, you're
Ah.
Okay, I don't really know, to be honest.
I don't know either.
History is not my forte.
Wait, was there real estate agents back then?
I think it was all for sale by owners, right?
So
I don't know.
I was gonna say, when did this? Do you guys not? Because
So I know the history of real estate. So how it originally started is they would kind of like put you into an area and then they would count down and then you'd take these flags and then you'd run. But this was way before 1800s. This was before we had like plat maps and all that. Well, clearly probably most people don't know what that is anyways. They would literally like run around with these flags, and if you had the fastest horse, you were getting the best land because you were going to be the fastest one to that piece of land.
So it was a
and you
race.
would throw it on your flag. Yeah.
That's how they used to do real estate?
Yeah, but like you would all start in like an area, and I mean there could be one all the way over here, there could be one here, there could be a piece there, and it's like you knew where they were, but if you had a slow horse that went all the way over there, gone.
I'm drugging those fucking horses.
Dude, wait, I'm so confused. Wait, so they would just race?
Yeah, like when
Yeah.
the westward expansion happened, I'm guessing when everybody was cleaning up land. Here's your
Yeah.
flags. You get on your horse, motherfucker.
No one
Pick.
owned anything.
So you just claimed it. And
Yeah, you
like,
just
I'm-
claimed it.
I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
but you got to think about it. Like there was no technically market
that's
value
true,
of a
yeah.
house or a land yet.
Bro, if I was in the 1800s, I'd be flipping. I'd be going putting flags everywhere. I'd be like, $10.
Well, I think
Dude,
there was
$10
probably
is a lot
some rules
back then.
behind it.
Obviously, yeah, but I don't know.
No, obviously you weren't there
No, I mean, how do you know?
because I was there.
Where are you?
What? Reincarnation.
Reincarnated. I'm sorry, I was listening to
That's a
Kendrick
really
Lamar
good
here.
job. That's a really good. I'm looking up jobs from the 1800s.
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Dude, the ice one is a
What would you
solid
be, bro?
one, though.
That's what I'm looking up. Oh
I
yeah,
don't get
what
a
would
choice.
you?
I don't get a choice.
Yeah, I know,
but
I was alluding to that.
maybe after 1865.
I mean, if you weren't in America,
I
you had
could
a
choose
choice.
job.
If you weren't in America, you'd have a choice.
I mean, most of them still were doing it back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was in like,
There wasn't a lot of light skins back then either, probably.
there wasn't any light skin.
Yeah, that's.
Which brings up my light skin theory, which is that one day everybody.
Oh
will
no,
be-
it's
Oh.
true.
light skin.
It's confirmed.
Wait,
Like, yeah, it's gonna happen.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, it's all theorized until it does happen.
and they also said, like, I think it's by 2035, the most spoke language in America is gonna be Spanish.
that'll be
Really?
interesting.
Yeah, look it up. I'm so serious.
I'm
Look
hard.
it up.
It's hard to believe. Well, either of those theories is hard to believe because I mean, I'm
Isn't
not
or
saying
is
it
hard to believe.
is hard to believe because English is. I mean, it's the dominated language in business.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know English, you can't do business with America, and if you can't do business with America, it's kind of hard to continue your
Well,
business.
you're thinking in the capacity of business, but there's millions of people that work regular jobs, and that's the kind of push behind. Like the common tongue you'll hear during the day will be Spanish.
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doubting it's a possibility.
Yeah, I'm gonna start
It'd be
learning now.
Interesting.
I mean, I can see that. Oh wait, are you talking about the U.S. or the world?
U.S.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not the
I
world.
was gonna say the world says Mandarin.
Oh
but,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah, they fuck like bunnies.
Well, they're.
How do you know?
I don't think they are.
Why do you
anymore.
think they put a child limit in their country?
I think that's gone now.
I was
Though.
just kidding.
Is that gone?
Yeah. I think they got rid of that
Damn.
actually
Okay.
like a while ago.
I made my decision. I'd own an
Took you
oil
long
firm. Yeah, I had to look and make sure they were around.
Wait, what'd you say?
I'd own an oil.
Oligarchy.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean,
it's
that'd be
called.
the obviously that'd be the
Yeah,
best
of
one.
course.
Yeah.
What about you, dog? If you had a lighter
a
skin
choice?
tone,
If
if
I
you
had a
were
choice?
white in the 1800s,
Dude, probably a gold. I don't know. Do people gold mine? Probably a gold
a
miner.
gold miner.
I can see
See,
that.
they made big bucks, but you were also dead by 35 because of how all the weather that you put through and the sickness you'd get.
That actually sounds terrible.
Or you could be a banker. Bankers made bank.
Actually, bankers
Yeah.
did make bank.
Yeah, because all
Bankers
the
are-
banks were privately like family owned. Like all the
Yeah, they've
Super
always made
cushy
bank.
job too.
I think bankers is probably the best. I mean, well, ice is such a smart
yeah. Actually,
move.
wait, no, none of us are Jewish.
Yeah,
We
but
wouldn't
would
be
you
bankers.
be the one cutting the ice, or would like what part
No,
of the ice?
I'd be the business owner.
Oh.
Like yeah,
But you
I'd-
defined working your way up because you obviously have to work
Oh
your
no,
way
it's
up
true.
the ice
I'll be
chain.
walking into the saloon
not
like, who
necessarily.
wants ice? And they're like, what the fuck is that? Frozen water.
That's honestly the beauty of business, though, because you don't necessarily have to work your way up. That's a corporate mindset. So you can literally, like, let's just say in your field, you can go and work for this place for like 10, let's just say 5-10 years. So you understand the concept of the entire business, but you're like, this one thing about the business, I can do better. And then instead of working your way up, like in the corporate world, you just
the ladder.
Start something new. That's the little bit different of the mindset. There's a great book. It's called the Cash Flow Quadrants, and it goes into the different mindsets of an employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. And that's the different mindset right there from an employee to a business owner.
Is it talk about, because I've kind of noticed this, like at least in my company and like other companies, like they make it, like when they're really large, like Bank of America or something like that, they try to like isolate what you can do down to like such a small point. I feel like that's probably why
they make it no fail.
You can't like learn all of the like surrounding areas and then like, all right, I'm out. Like, let me go make a competitor.
That's completely understandable too. I mean, from the bottom up, it's like, fuck this. But looking top down, you can understand, like, if you're that big, you're making that money, and you don't have room for error at that rate, you're going to make a job where somebody with a room temperature IQ just needs to press a button.
You want me to break your brain?
What?
So there's 3 ways in this world to make money. You trade your time, you get someone else to trade your time, and you invest. So the first one is you're trading your time. That's probably what a majority of humans do.
Yeah,
time is money. Then the second one is business owners. Sorry, correction. 3 ways of looking at it. You have your employee, you have your business owner, and then you have like a politician. So with your person who's trading time for money, so all day long, 40 hours a week, money. Then you got your next person. Then I hire 2 dudes to do the job for me. So I quit whatever I was doing. So say I own my own real estate team, and I got you 2 to call, well, one of you to call leads for me and one of you to do closing transactions. So you both had your own job. Now I'm getting paid on everything you guys do, but I'm not doing either of it. So I'm getting paid for what you're doing.
So you're trading other people's time.
Correct. And then the third one is more of a politician mindset. That's getting other people to pay you for your ideas.
Okay.
So I could literally talk about things like this for hours, but it goes really in depth on like the structural behind society and how money actually flows.
So I mean, so you're still getting paid for your time in the politician sense, but you're not working.
Do you own anything?
Negative. I mean, yeah.
What?
An car.
Idea? A thought?
My car.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Wait, what?
He's saying his car. He's trying to yeah.
Okay, so wait, let me wrap my head around the politician one. So basically, people are paying you for the information that you've gathered.
Somewhat. Okay. So they're paying you because of because you can control people per se. So this is how to break it down. Switch it in reverse: politician, business owner, employee. So the politician owns the business owners because the big businesses are paying politician to push their, what they want to happen in business. Simple concept, right?
So as a politician, you're selling your image. Basically.
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, that's a really good point. And then when you hit the business owner, guess who the business owner controls?
The employees.
And the employees.
Yeah.
And it just goes down to what you value and what you learn and what you study. Like someone once taught me once, and he's like, if you really want to be successful in this world, stop trying to learn a job. Don't try to learn a system, learn people, and you'll always be successful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. Your network is your net worth. Is that what they say?
Somewhat. I mean, some of the strongest friend groups that I've ever seen, none of them work in the same profession, because if you're tapped in with multiple different professions, let's just say a lawyer, stockbroker, around here banking, real estate, like your key big movers in finances.
Dude, medical industry too here?
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude.
Medical industry is good, but it's not a big key player in business. So you're
I feel like it depends, because you can say if you have a friend in the pharmaceutical industry, it changes the game.
I could see that.
Because they make.
He's staring at
He just puts in his mouth on the side of the camera.
They have like the perfect like the fact that they're like, all right, you need to take this medicine for the rest of your life.
Yo, it's
like
crazy.
that is insane.
Yeah, it's
Bro, call me
crazy.
crazy, but that shit's all schemes. Like, Big Pharma has drugged people up.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a like fix it after it's happened, not a preventative
Oh
type
my
of
gosh,
medicine.
so much so.
Dude,
That's how they make their money. They want you to get sick.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound terrible, and this is gonna be a huge. What's the word I'm looking for?
Controversial?
Controversial. Sure, yeah. I was looking for a hot take.
Hot
Cold
take.
take. It'll be a cold take.
What?
No, it's hot
No,
take.
it's hot take.
What-
because most
a
people
cold-
won't agree with it.
I think a cold take is like something that's like,
I thought a cold take is nobody agrees with it. Hot take is, wow, like, yeah.
I don't know. Well,
Either
either way,
way,
I
it's
think
a
we're on the
take.
same point. So that I feel like in this world, most people only fix a problem once there is a problem to solve. Like, most people will work the same job for 40 years and never do anything, even though they complain every single day about how little money they make.
Yeah.
Same thing goes in it. I'm not just about money. Like, even about happiness. People will complain about how unhappy they are, but never do anything different. Try new hobbies, meet new people, get away from old friend groups, just because they don't like fixing things until it becomes such a big of a problem.
yeah.
One thing a mentor once told me, he said, if you really want to help some people, make their fucking problem bigger. Because
Yeah.
yeah.
I can 100%
Well,
see
yeah,
that.
I can understand the thought
But it's like
process.
things you don't think about normally.
Nobody wants to self-inflict pain until pain is present, but sometimes you have to self-inflict to avoid the problem entirely.
Yeah, it's loss aversion. We're just
Yeah.
function to like avoid loss. Like people will be in a relationship and they're like, I'm so upset with this relationship. Like
Yes.
I hate it.
Yeah.
But they'll be like, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, they're like at a 4 of happiness. But they know if they break up with this person, they're gonna be at a 1 or a 0 for like 2-3 months.
And
They're
you
like,
think
I
that.
can't do that.
But
Yeah.
that's not necessary. Yeah, no.
Yeah, people will get like,
But-
they're like, I
Yeah.
can't do that.
On the same token, though, the people that fail the most in the world are the most successful because, you know, they act on those things. They act on those feelings. You know what I mean?
Well, it goes back because there's really two groups in majority. There's people who get fucked and there's people who do the fucking. And this isn't sexual at all. I understand it might sound like it, but there's people who take action and there's people who wait for action to take.
Yeah.
Which one are you?
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
All right, buddy. Well, what if we're 3 people in the room that do the fucking? Who's getting fucked?
That's not how that works. It's not like a 1 in 3 friends
tracking.
are okay. It's like 1 in 3 friends are gay. 1, 2.
Whoa, it must be something.
I never knew.
Yeah, statistically, you're it.
Yeah,
Damn, bro.
that's crazy.
It's okay.
It be like that. Hit me up. Nah,
on
chill.
Grindr?
Don't do that, please.
Also, yeah, China got rid of the 1 kid policy in 2016. So
Yeah, for real? That's so recent.
Where the fuck have I been?
Yo, are you kidding? But like that's literally no time ago.
like that's what I'm saying.
but that's
That is
8 years ago.
crazy.
You would think Yeah,
I would think like 20, 50, 100 years ago.
No, it was. That's why it was on the news. I remember seeing it as a kid. Like,
I never watched.
I mean, they got so overpopulated, like they couldn't handle.
Yeah,
more
I heard it
people.
was a thing, but it's just crazy that it's just now going away. I feel
Well-
like that's just like a human's right thing.
But that's also like I'm not gonna get into the whole media debacle, but that's also because of the media. Like,
Yeah,
let me
let's
ask you a
not
question:
speak about
how much do you actually know about what goes on or seeing mainland China on a
Nothing.
day to day?
Nothing.
Yeah, like
I know absolutely
it's
nothing.
almost a hidden country to America because of media sources and everything as such. But yeah, it was bad.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, anything that you ever see on the news, on social media, or ever is always propaganda. Propaganda has this negative connotation to it that it's always bad. Propaganda can be great. Kim Jong-un did positive propaganda to his country, you know, and this also could be propaganda because I don't know it to be true, saying that he was the best and everybody else is terrible. And everything that we see about China could 100% be propaganda that might not be true, and the only way that you know is with it seeing it. So
no, absolutely. But yeah, you can't trust a lot of your sources nowadays. Either way, I mean,
no, let him
Kim
speak. Let him
Jong-un,
speak. He
I
looked
mean,
like he had something right
Nah,
there.
you
You
can't. I mean,
shoot
you
it.
can't. Honestly, like it's kind of insane how bad the propaganda is. Like my tattoo artist, he's from Russia,
That was
Word.
crazy.
and I was asking him, I was like, dude, how's the propaganda? Because he came here in 2020, 2021. I was like, how's the propaganda? He's like, dude, it's insane.
Yeah.
They think that every American is gay,
Yep.
fat, and
Yep.
transgender. Like
Yep.
it's insane. Like that's
and
what
we
they
all
spread.
think they're vodka drinking, riding bears. Like,
Yep. And yeah. The Yeah, the first time I ever realized it.
I mean, I've seen a few videos.
Yeah, but that's the propaganda.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna lie. So the videos I see of mainland Russia, like regular people acting, they seem like cool motherfuckers. But like all the news sources and the big stuff, you're like, oh god. Yeah. But speaking on the Kim Jong-un portion, I saw this on the propaganda machine. Like, apparently, like, the soldiers he sent to Ukraine started watching porn and folded immediately.
Oh, the North Korea soldiers?
Yeah.
They saw about that.
Because, dude, they don't have internet. They don't have, like, from what the propaganda says.
There's no way they don't have internet.
Well, I think porn is restricted, like blocked.
Okay, that's a possibility.
Like, everything is censored there.
Yeah, censored.
Like,
Okay.
they can't get
That
on
makes
the
sense.
mainland internet. It's only North Korean stuff.
Okay. I can believe that. Well, when you said they don't have internet, I was like, that's impossible.
Well, no, I'm telling you, if I never saw Piper Perry before and you told me to shoot somebody in the face, I'd beat my dick first. Like you've never seen a woman?
Dude, that's got to mess up the
We
military.
should have just stayed silent when he said that. It made
No, you should. Yeah, you should have.
That's what I was trying to do. And then you
the
broke
thing
the
about
silence.
it-
I always double down.
I was just thinking about like how bad that must be for your military. Like they're all like testosterone filled, and the next thing you know, they're just like all like whacking off.
Bro.
Like they just
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it breeds a lot of gay shit.
No,
I don't know. I don't think it works like that.
I mean, you told me that one story one time.
Don't bring up bullshit. He's making sure the cameras are running. Yeah, sorry, you're not getting some juicy exclusive on some fake ass shit.
Is that propaganda?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, fake news, really.
Give me like that first question was a good question. What else you got? Like I want to hear what kind
No,
of
that
questions.
shit was great. That shit was great. That was very creative. I know he ChatGPT'd this shit before we got
Hey,
here.
I mean,
No, that one I came up with while I was
In the
on my
shower?
way to my barbershop.
Yo, this is what.
I was like,
is it the one downstairs right there?
No. I was like thinking, I was like, there was barbers in the 1800s. And I was like, I wonder what other jobs.
Barbers were doctors too. Like they were a whole
yeah,
three
yeah,
company.
yeah,
They were
yeah.
barbers,
I did
doctors.
hear
They
this.
were like facial
Propaganda.
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, my first,
But no, you true.
Yeah, he was telling me because in like when you go to barber school, they give you the history of like barber and like stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
asked him the first haircut recorded. They don't have it, I guess. Whatever, but I mean, I don't know. We were trying to figure out like, was it before like BC, like after?
I mean,
like
you
80?
telling me a dude didn't take a sharp rock and like cut his hair off when he got caught on a branch one time and he got too mad? Like that's definitely happened. That's
That
a
probably
human
was
thing.
the first haircut.
Yeah.
I don't know, but what's the first like legit haircut? Like I bet you it was like one of those things where it's like if you got a haircut, it was like
You were
bad.
like banished. Like that's the dunce
Yeah,
of
like,
town.
it was-
yeah, because you were out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it was probably
It was the
bad
first
at
dunce hat.
first.
Yeah.
It definitely had to be because I mean anything that's abstract is always going to be taboo until it becomes normalized.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. Like even looking in the 1980s, I thought those bushes were crazy, but
What?
in 1800, bro.
Oh, like pirates?
No,
like, I just
no,
think about
no.
whenever
I think
see
he's talking
Pirates
about
of
porn again.
No, I'm talking about bushes. Like,
Okay, yeah, I was on the right path.
Like
I was what the
1800s.
fuck?
Jesus.
talking about the Mons pubis. area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, when he first said that, I was like, "Why are we talking about plants?" I was like, "What the fuck?"
I thought you were talking about the Georges.
Yeah,
I
clearly
was like,
we
whoa,
were.
we're getting political
Am
here.
I the only one with my mind down the drain?
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I think you need to go get hit with the horny stick.
Yeah. No, I mean I've been hit too much by the
Yeah,
horny
that's what
stick.
it is. Has a hormone monster. Just
He's still going
Shit
through
me.
puberty.
All right, would you rather?
It's been dry, man.
No, that's sad.
Yeah. Would you rather have your Google searches publicly released or your text messages?
Text messages. I'd say like
Google searches.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Wait, why text messages?
because
Yeah.
so how do I word this without? So my Google searches have been some heinous shit, but there's only been some certain amount of times in my text threads where I've acted on said Google search with another individual.
Wait, what?
So like,
Okay.
I mean, I'm still in the porn thing again.
Okay.
And like looking up, and like you guys know what the gauntlet is when you have to watch all those fucked up videos
You
till
don't
the end.
have to, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
You
like
don't have to do anything.
comparatively to my Google search to things that have come out of my fingers over text, I'd rather my text be out.
I think
like,
someone should take your phone away.
I think so too.
But is there ever a text that could be taken out of context?
Oh, 100%.
All of them,
dude,
all of them,
that's
bro.
what I was.
Bro,
like,
if
oh,
my Xbox
yeah.
Live chats got leaked, I'd be going to jail right now.
oh, dude. Xbox Live chats were insane.
That was crazy. Modern Warfare 2 time frame, bro.
Did you game or not really?
No, not really.
No?
I didn't have enough friends to game, if I'm being honest.
Bro,
That's what the internet was for. You just game online. Half the people I was
Did you
friends
not
with-
experience a COD lobby in Prime 2000s?
Nope. Parents, my parents actually couldn't afford. Like growing up, we had a Wii, and if you've ever played Call of Duty on a Wii, you get it, dog shit. But my parents, like, we couldn't afford a PlayStation or an Xbox, so I never really like when all the kids were playing at my age, I wasn't.
Oh, so that's why you joined the military, so you can do it, you know, because you didn't get to when you were a kid.
No.
Wait, I was gonna say because I feel like personally like I got kind of like into the military because of Call of Duty for sure. Like, were you already planning on doing joining the military?
No, so the military was on my mind at a young age, but it was more of a. So I wasn't the best person. I wasn't the best kid, and I needed a massive overhaul to become a better man. And I looked at my options. I looked at what I could do, and you know, I made the best decision with what was in front of me, which is like I need a hard reset, and I needed to get away from where I was. And you know, I was those 4 years in the Marine Corps. I joined at 18, and I got sent across the world, and that's like it's what I needed. I gained more perspective. I'd like the same. I gained more wisdom. When I fucked up, I was able to fuck up by myself younger. And so I didn't have a safety. I didn't have a support system. I had to learn how to deal and actually be a better person.
So when did it like enter your mind?
I think the real question is do you think you're still a better person?
Comparatively?
Answer it how you want.
I won't. I think I am a better person, yes. But there's always room to grow, and I'm not exactly where I should be. And there's a lot of things I could fix.
Where should you be?
Where should I be?
Well, you said you're not where you should be, so that means you're judging yourself based off a standard you don't know.
It's not more of a don't know. I have an idea of who Peter's going to be in about 10 years. And I'm keen on living to those ideals to become that man as fast as possible. And it's more of just a rough opening of growth. Like, I don't have defined traits. It's more of a, like, what if I perceive something is wrong, what do I need to do better to make it better? And I mark it down in my head, and I continue to grow.
Or you can just quit.
Yeah, like you could, but I got told this today, and it really stuck out to me.
To quit?
No, it was me. Yeah, it was him. He just said that.
Yeah.
But you could every day you can either get better or worse, but you'll never stay the same. And that's like one of the biggest quotes that slapped me in the face recently.
It's like from the compounding effect.
Oh yeah, is that from?
It's from tons of different books. You read any book, it's going to talk about the compounding effect. There's literally a book that just talks about it. I mean, it's one of the success. It's one of the like core principles for success.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean,
1% every day.
1% every day.
No, because everybody says that it's so social media. 1% every day, yeah, is great, but it's not really what the principle is. Because what the principle is the small things that you do every day will either make you 1% better or 1% worse. Okay. Everybody forgets about the first part, and then they try to think, oh, 1% today, but what does that actually mean? What the small things that you do every day will make you 1% better or 1% worse. Your choice.
Like, let's talk back to boot camp, right? Remember when like we were going through that shit and they were like, if I can't trust you to fucking tie your shoes right, I can't trust you to pull me out of a firefight, right? And everybody was like, that's fucking dumb. Like, I could pull you out barefoot. Yeah. But that's not the point. It's the principle. It's more of a, if you can discipline yourself enough to do the right things, then you will grow into doing great right things. And so, I mean, like, and I realized this recently, like, the more I let myself go and do the things I know I shouldn't, the harder it is to not do them.
Like, as in cognitive dissonance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got for us.
No, I'm just thinking.
Behavior that is incongruent with the self will not last.
You think so?
Absolutely.
100%.
If I...
you'll reject it. Your subconscious will reject it, and you'll resent yourself.
I'm a cigarette smoker, right? And I start going, I'm gonna quit smoking. And so when somebody offers me a cigarette, no, I quit. Sorry, no, I'm trying to quit. Like that in yourself, you still believe in your head, like I am a cigarette smoker. I'm just stopping my activity. But when you change the reference to more of a, no, I'm not a smoker. And so Peter is not a smoker, so that is not an activity Peter would do. And that's how you start. And it sounds like very simple in that term, but it's more of I have a habit of being angry. I ruminate. I think of the negative, right? And so I used to go, no, stop thinking about that, stop. But it wouldn't stop because that's who I was. And so until I started going like, no, like I think about solution. I think about positivity, and I think about how I can grow and make this better. And that's who I am. It gets really easy to start acting on those things because it ingrains in your core.
Did you actually do that? Like you were a smoker?
No, I mean
that's just not. Okay.
No, I was just using an analogy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't. I hate cigarettes. I watch my parents smoke and turn me away from it.
You used to dip?
Yeah.
I mean, I vaped. I've dived down to this, but I'm trying to get rid of this too.
So that's a Zyn, or is that something else?
Yeah, there's Zyns.
There's Zyns.
But I mean, what do you, so
Dude, I've never gotten into that because I'm like terrified of getting like addicted. Like
Don't.
nicotine, yeah.
well,
Yeah,
don't. I wouldn't.
Tobacco,
There's no
I wouldn't
point.
start.
yeah.
So to be, I mean, 100% vulnerable. The only reason I got into it is because I was cool. Like I wanted to be cool. Like we all do. We all have our own insecurities, and I wanted to be cool. So back when I was in the military, I started dipping, and you know, I was like the coolest fucking motherfucker because I had a cigarette in my mouth. You know, like no one gives a fuck.
I'm not gonna
Dylan.
lie,
Yeah.
that cowboy killer in the jungle
Yeah.
really did slap though.
No, it only slapped because you thought it slapped.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, it's a way to cope with stress. Like I quit dipping this most recent year. I'm almost 2 full months without any nicotine.
Really?
Yeah. It was one of my 2025 goals.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's also another thing about change. If anybody could take anything from me talking today, it's so if you're trying to change a habit or you're trying to change something you do and you just drop it off, it doesn't work, right? I did Zyns in the past to help with stress. You know, I vaped to help with stress, to feel good, and times I didn't feel good. And so unless I replace that with something that makes me feel good in times of duress, it will never stop, even if I just stop it for a week. You have to replace your habit. So if you just try to quit something, no, you need to fill that time. You need to fill that void with something else, even if it doesn't equate.
Yeah, that's like the cocaine mouse study or whatever they did.
Interesting. Tell me about
So
that.
like
I haven't heard that.
basically there was 2 like groups of like rats or mice or whatever, and so like one of them they would like isolate them, right, and it would be like they'd isolate them, but they'd give them cocaine, and so like they'd
My
like
type of
leave it there,
mouse.
and they'd be like, okay, like I'll do the cocaine, but when that was when it was isolated, when it had friends and was like had activities like things to do and stuff like that, they didn't want the cocaine.
They didn't even touch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just your everything around you.
So it's this really interesting phenomenon. They did a similar study actually with humans, Vietnam vets. So this has nothing to do with the military in all actuality, but a lot of them, they went over to Vietnam and they did heroin because if you do read anything, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. It was huge in that time
Opioids.
period, and everybody was doing it. U.S. soldiers, and you know the Vietnam soldiers, but they did this very interesting study that as soon as they came back to their families and where they were prior to, they went back to their old habits. So with that same ideology, well, they quit the heroin, so and such.
Yeah.
So changing your surroundings changes who you are. If you're around heroin, you'll do heroin. If you're not around it, you won't. And it goes back to even deeper when it's like we are impressionable human beings. It takes a lot of time thinking and making your own rules within yourself to be the one who puts
Imposes.
impressions. Yes, thank you. And it's a quote that everybody hears. It's very common. Show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future. And it is the most truest shit because let's just say me, you, and Peter, we hang out once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, and we talk about women all the time. Guess what our mind's going to be focused on, what we're going to look for, what we're going to be good at is women. But if me, you, and Peter talk about money, business, or happiness, health, gym, you will be good in those sectors
Have you
of
heard
life.
somebody? I don't know where I heard this from, but somebody pushed back and said it's not your 5 closest friends.
It's also what you watch.
It's like your 5 friends that you compare yourself to.
Yes.
So it's like
Yeah,
not
you can
necessarily
only
your
be-
closest friends, but it's the ones that you're like, okay, I want to be like that one.
Yeah, your
I would
growth is
love-
limited to what your staple is.
I would love to debate that topic because even if you're hanging out with somebody who isn't doing it, you're either dragging them or pulling towards them because you're dragging them. So you're trying to, well, let's work on it this way. Let's try this. Don't do that. Don't do this. And in all actuality, I can see where they say because you don't see them as an equal or someone that you want to be. you see them as someone you're trying to help. So you don't really judge them off of that because you can't envision yourself in their shoes.
Yeah. And the thing about it is a lot of people don't agree with that statement about the 5 closest friends because they
don't
think
want to take self-accountability.
Yeah, and they think they're mentally strong enough to be like, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
but the thing about it
I'm
is,
not strong enough.
Yeah, like for lack of a better word, I can sit here and say my 10 commandments to myself that I made every single night. But if I'm hanging around a bunch of drug dealers, like eventually my mind will shift without me even wanting it to. You know what I mean? That's just how human psychology works.
Let me ask you a question. I got for both of you. Growing up, did your parents tell you never do drugs, never drink?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine, yeah.
So they didn't tell you never to do it. So did you do it growing up?
Slightly.
Okay. So you were exposed to it. And your experience?
I did not do it at all.
Because they told you not to, right?
Yeah.
That was the main reason. And you tried it because they told you could, or was there a different reason?
They weren't. It was more of a they had an idea that no, I was going to be a grown man and eventually I was going to be faced with things, so why not guide through the process and show why it's negative instead of letting me expose by myself and have it go sour.
Personally, I've never been a parent, but I think that's great parenting because at the end of the day you're going to do it. But to the actual point where 90% of parents are going to tell you no, don't do it. So what happened as soon as you left home? Did you start drinking a lot?
Yeah, fun.
Any chance you could get, right?
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I feel like it wasn't because of what they said no. It was because I was in the military and I was surrounded by it. If I went to like college, actually, no what?
Bullshit.
Yeah, never mind, because it's in college too. Yeah.
What I want to do is a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to separate story and idea to point. So the point isn't alcohol. Take anything. If your parents told you never to yell or never to run or never to anything, this is the point. So when you were growing up, your parents told you never to do that. But when you grew up and you lived off of their rules, so say living in their house is living on their rules, and then you don't live in their house and in their rules anymore, now you have no established rules. So where you get your guidelines for how to live is generally from who you look up to. The only point where you can change all of that is when you spend, which 99% of people never will, imposing what they want to have in the future. So sitting with yourself being like, all right, why do I not want to drink alcohol? Or why do I want to drink alcohol? Okay, well, I want to drink alcohol because I like talking to women and going out to the bars. And I like having it as a social event. Okay. And then it might suit your lifestyle. But personally, because this is something that a lot of people ask me, is like, why do you not drink? That's weird. And I sat down with myself for hours and I'm like, what's the benefit? What's the cons? Does it help me achieve the third list, where I want to be, not where my friends want me to be or where my parents want me to be? Not sure if that makes sense.
Well, no, I get what
It does, yeah. Because, I mean, I've thought about why I like drinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
And in the same process of what you're saying about the family, like I've seen it firsthand account, but like you know the most bogged down, ruled followed children are the most rebellious once they have the chance.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah,
because they never learn how to make their own imposed.
They don't know how to manage themselves.
Wills. Yes, they lived off their parents' rules, so now they don't know how to impose their own rules.
Being your own manager is the hardest thing, and like the way I really exposed it to me is. Who the fuck am I to listen to some bald 30-year-old that's telling me how to make drinks that makes no money, but I can't even listen to myself when I tell myself to go to bed? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Do I have that much self-worth? And that's really what slapped me into the kind of thought process.
You're 23-year-olds and still barely even know how to wake up.
Bro.
The hardest thing in the day.
I that happened to me today. Like, I work for a 30-year-old fat guy teaching me how to make drinks today. No, it happened.
Okay, I was like, wait, what?
I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like,
work?
No, I just think it's the most interesting thing in the world that we've all been waking up every single morning, and yet no one is still good at it. Like, it is the hardest, most difficult thing in the world.
Being tired, bro. Like, I hate being tired. Like,
I think it's partially probably because, like, of, I think, what we're, like, society, what we do.
Did you also know, like,
interesting.
We still don't fully know why we need sleep.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I would disagree with that.
Well,
It stimulates your brain and your body to go into recovery mode.
but obviously from an evolutionary standpoint, don't you think that, like, I don't know if you guys believe in evolution
Please,
or not.
shoot.
But,
I do.
Wouldn't you
I do.
think that? Do you think sleep has gotten longer or shorter over
I
time?
think
Longer.
Yeah.
It's
So
gotten longer.
Oh, actually,
I
I
actually
depends on what era we're talking about.
Well, I read onto this. Human beings were originally built to take nap spurts because, you were guarding from animals, you were taking guard, you were hunting. And so as we've transitioned to this lifestyle, we haven't fully evolved yet, but we've gotten more accustomed to get a big block in the evening because we're not nocturnal. But we are, as like mammals, like you'll see any other mammals in our tree, like they take short 3-hour naps 3 times a day. And then they'll continue with their day even overnight.
That's really interesting. Why do we sleep at night?
Well, I think
I feel like that's societal conditioned.
Well, I mean, we're not nocturnal animals. We're not built for night vision. Like, we usually hide
But
away
we
in our
have
burrows.
lights.
We hunt in the day. Yeah, now. But
that's what I'm saying.
It's
It's a
millions
societal
of years of
condition.
evolution. That's not going to change
Yeah,
in a
but
few years.
there has been no evolution in that sphere.
What do you mean?
We still go to bed at night just like we did a billion or hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Well, yeah, it's going to take a few more to actually evolve into being
I don't
a
think it ever will.
24/7 time.
I don't
Hey,
think it
when
ever
we
will.
have space stations and motherfuckers living on the moon, like, yeah, people are going to be up at
Yeah,
night.
it's all theorized. I mean, I can definitely see where you're coming from. That
Yeah.
makes, now that you say that.
No circadian rhythm. I mean, because it's based off of this.
That's another thing too. Like, we've evolved to
Oh.
have full REM sleep. Like in those 3-hour blocks, they can't fully get into deep sleep, and that's really what heals us, takes the stress away, makes us feel tired. Like, that's the rapid eye movement. And so you can't do that in a 3-hour block. And I think that's a big health condition that's developed with us, along with getting a big block at night.
But I mean, you don't think the big block came from
Being dark?
like capitalism or like just
I
the
do.
whole like
Because business
yeah,
hours. We work our entire lives off of when business is open and when business is closed.
Yeah,
we
it
are
had
a
to be
capitalist
society. Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan.
Damn.
Not a fan.
Damn. We should start the new
This is gonna be
trend.
a hot take. I am a fan.
Let's
I love
nap
capitalism.
from 3 to 6. We'll nap from 12 to 3, and we'll nap from 6 to 9. Fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Well, there is this really interesting thing when you get deep into like entrepreneurship, where there's a guy that talks about this interesting theory that he'll work in like 4 to 6 hour spurts of the day. So he'll block it out, and it's basically a way to make 32 days out of a 31 day month. So he sleeps he wake up,
okay.
works for 6 hours, takes a nap, works for another 6 hours, because within that nap he's fully recharging his brain, so when he wakes up he can hit the ground running.
Absolutely.
And it's quite interesting.
And there's one that's the one big, I'd say, rift. Like, it's not a rift, but why we're different is that, like, I have a little more of a tendency and drive to smell the roses while I work, or in between my work.
I don't
While you
do
are
that.
like you're a big block driven work now, roses later.
Yeah.
I'm like driven work, tiny rose,
Oh,
driven
yeah.
work, tiny rose.
Yeah, you'll come to my side soon.
Maybe I will. Who knows? I can't say what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
I mean, wait. So what? Like, what's your? Do you guys have like a sleep schedule? Or like, what's your?
Yeah, I have a very. He saw my schedule the other day, and
Oh,
he
yeah,
almost
he has a
fucking
hard
jaw
stop.
dropped.
Yeah.
So what is it? What's your like?
My schedule is very like everything is put into place. Like there's not a minute. Well, there's minutes, but there's not a lot of time where it's just like, I don't know what I'm gonna fucking do today.
Yeah,
like
okay.
this is. I know it's not
I
for
kind of
everybody.
enjoy that feeling. That's how side quests start, and I love side quests.
Yeah, and that's how doom scrolling happens.
Well, I mean, if you can be strong enough to throw your phone like I do, like
Okay, that was gonna be my next question. I'm really happy you prefaced with that.
Yeah, because you have to. The phone will just suck you.
It will
into
suck
it.
you in.
So how long are you sleeping for?
8 hours.
You're sleeping
I sleep
8
for 8
hours.
hours. Yeah,
I'd say like the first week of this job, I was trying to get 6 like I usually do. No,
No,
like
you
with
need 8
the
hours.
structure and the workflow I put into myself, like I've been knocking at 10 and waking up at 6:30.
Yeah,
So yeah, 8.
that's usually fine. I mean, I've noticed like if I didn't work like a regular like 9 to 5 job, I've noticed my circadian rhythm. I can function about roughly 17, 18 hours, but then
Without
I need
sleep.
then I need 9 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
And it's like my circadian rhythm is not to like regular like the earth, like how it goes, like 24 hours.
Oh, I agree with you.
Because when I was in college, I would like study. I'd go to school and like study, and I'd be up till like 2 a.m. But I was like, all right, I need to knock until 10 or 11, and then the next day I could do 3 or 4 a.m. But I had to need to knock like even longer. See, and it doesn't really work because at some point I have to go to class and it overlaps.
See that? Yeah, that's weird about me. Like I can't reset a sleep schedule. Like my body. So if I stay awake till 2 a.m., my body won't let me fall asleep at 9 the next night. So I'm gonna have to like go to bed at 3, then stay up a solid 24 hour, then go to bed because I can't unless I'm tired. I can't sleep. Like I see people knocking out 2 minutes.
How did you figure out your sleep schedule?
Because I was just staying up late and studying.
Was it like a partial study that you did, or was it just pattern recognition over time?
It was just pattern. Like I didn't notice it until like my senior year of like, okay, like I study way better from 10 o'clock, from like anywhere from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
It was just when you noticed your brain was firing.
Yeah, that's when I'm like, I'm up, like, because there's a window like between like roughly like 8
it's
to
less
10
distraction
where I'm
too.
tired. So if I get through that window, I'm up. Like up after 10 p.m.
I agree with you. I notice like I force myself to be up at 8 a.m. Well, up and in the office working at 8 a.m. Like that's when I'm making my first call. But I do notice a lot of times that I'm more energized and my brain is faster from 4 till about 8 to 9 p.m.
Yeah. It's kind of insane. Because I think, I mean, there's the night owl morning.
Yep. There's the different types, yeah.
I work better at night. Like no matter what I do, I work better at night.
I think it's...
Maybe it's our age.
I mean, well, I think it's partially gaming. I mean, did you game a lot?
Yeah.
You gamed a lot as a kid. So
but it's also distraction and what your body gets used to. Like it's dark. There's nobody around. I feel like the volume of people around, whether I choose to agree or not, it does hinder my thought process and workflow. Like when I'm outside at night and I'm alone, like I can like, it's a lot better for me at least.
No, I get that. Yeah, I think I've developed from like, because I gained from probably 6th grade until senior year, and the 6 years of just like mornings are like very like blur, like falling asleep on the bus and like barely paying attention to class, and I get home and I'm like, all right, on the game, activated. Like, so I think I've trained myself to like, that's my peak time.
It's us.
Well, how familiar are you with the concept of dopamine?
Instant gratification.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, how familiar are you?
I mean, I understand like dopamine and like
Okay.
serotonin and all those like norepinephrine and things like that.
I will say a lot of the things that. So in this world, there's a lot of people that make a lot of money, and they understand the concept of understanding humans and human nature. Human nature is we chase dopamine. That's why reels are so big, and that's why the new oil of today isn't actual oil. It's not gas. It's not anything. It's literally people's attention.
It's Nigel's reaction videos.
Yes, exactly. It really is. Yeah. I mean, I've never seen his videos, but I'm sure, like you guys said, he had a lot of followers and making decent money on it, very well for himself at his age. And yet that's the oil of today. And when you understand how to, it's going to sound terrible, but control people, you can understand how to make a lot of money in this world because of phones, because everybody always has access to this, so you can get to everybody.
I have like a half hot take on that, but like when you hear your mom, like, you know, it's that damn phone, right? But like I want people to understand the association, because nobody realizes how much like impact it has. So like, think about how if you were a random person, you didn't have a phone, the steps you'd have to do to go and laugh at something, right? To go feel laughter, to feel happiness. Oh, that was funny. Or what you'd have to do to feel sad. You'd have to have an out front people occasion, right? You get the same level of chemical release in your brain going through reels. And so that's when I like learned about the term instant gratification. So if you have all of that chemical emotion right here, you will lose, like, scientifically drive to work for things that will give you the same level of emotion, even though they're physically more rewarding, because of how your brain is trained that it could be found right here.
Well, it's the same aspect why porn's so big.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to go look for sex anymore. Now you can just watch someone having sex. So why would I go look for friends to joke around with and be funny when I can find a funny friend on my phone?
But that's why I'm saying it, because the more people that can understand the actual science of how it makes your brain change, the scarier it'll light a fire under your ass of, oh my God, I don't want to be a useless fuck.
This can sound terrible, but I hope most people don't figure it out.
Well, yeah, it makes it better for everybody who has. Don't get me wrong.
I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, I mean,
this is part of the problem.
No. Because there is a huge difference. There's creators, and then I think you know it. So there's always multiple types of people, but when it comes to things like this, there's consumers and there's creators. This actually goes to one of the best quotes that ever actually started me on my entrepreneurial journey. Was my brother once said to me, he said, "There's two different Minecraft players." And this because I'm so fucking nerdy. So
I fucking love Minecraft. Fuck you. Anyways,
Yeah, it's a solid game.
There's
Yeah,
two types of
$20.
Minecraft players. There's some that dig into the world, taking away from it, and then there's others that build on top of the world and create. One only wants to take, and one wants to create. The choice is yours, how you want to build your house. He said this quote at fucking 15, and it has been one of the driving forces on everything that
You
I've
said
done.
your brother said this?
My
brother
brother.
dropping knowledge.
Yeah.
Dude, he is dropping knowledge.
But
That's
it's the
he
same
was.
portion. Like on the Instagram,
You
like
create.
you're looking at those reels or crash car videos that have like 1.3 million followers, right? They're taking like they're using people. That's what they're doing. Like they know that the low EQ person is gonna love this and they're gonna get money for it, but they don't care about the repercussion. They just want that money they're taking. But meanwhile, here you're creating content. You're having
So
good
creative.
conversation. You're engaging people. Like when I listen to podcasts, my mind engages. And even though it's social media, it's
that's
a
still
little bit.
actually taking, because even if you're listening to podcasts, you might be. Yeah, this is gonna sound terrible because I
no,
do
I get
it
you.
because at my level in life, I'm not to the point where I can make podcasts about what I want to make podcasts about. But I still am a consumer when it comes to things like that because I'm watching someone else's podcast instead of Justin here has a YouTube channel and is creating YouTube videos.
Yet I think like my point is like it's about the add value button. So yeah, I'm still consuming, but other than watching that person die in a car crash, it's going to increase my dopamine. I'm getting value. I'm getting new thought from watching something like this.
Yeah.
So it's the value.
I
to
agree
me.
there. I mean, there is always good content and bad content. Like you can spend it goes into your daily habits. Like 1%, what you do every day will make you 1% better and 1% worse. If you watch dopamine infused crashing videos, 1% worse. If you watch a podcast on how to be happier and healthier, 1% better. You might watch a 20-minute thing and take one 30-second snippet of knowledge from it, but 30 snippet every single day,
Yeah, that's up.
you are unbeatable. And that's the thing. It only takes 15 minutes a day every single day to become better than the average in 7 fucking days or 20 days, something like that. 7 to 20 days. Don't quote me.
Really?
Yeah.
But what the only thing that sucks.
People,
That's true.
Yeah, people aren't consistent.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks is
That's the
like
hardest part.
the world sets you up
That's the
for the
hardest part.
failure.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about this. It's hard, right?
Yeah. And it's not like the world trains you for it. The world sets you up for failure. The world starts with here, consume all of this, look at this, and it guides you away.
Oh, I'm good.
Oh, okay. My bad.
What's your take?
I mean, I think, dude, the world sets us. I mean, well, first of all, it's like school system sets us up to be.
Oh yeah,
like,
they don't
just
teach you shit about
be-
how things
just-
are.
Yeah, just show up, do the bare minimum, and get out.
Have you used trigonometry yet?
Yeah, actually, you have to in real estate.
What?
No,
I
I'm
know
just fucking with you. I don't
geometry.
even know what that shit means.
Trigonometry is a sine, cosine.
Yeah,
I haven't.
You went a lot higher in high school than I did.
I haven't used
I just went
calc
basic
yet.
math. I didn't even go like in my high school. We didn't even there was calculus. I just wasn't allowed to go to that class.
Oh, I went from short bus to AP. There was a very big growth point.
Bro,
I don't know. I think.
I was a C student.
I mean,
CDs.
Oh no, I was too. I got to the smart classes.
Yeah, not me, bro. I'm dyslexic and have ADHD.
And you're ugly.
that,
One of those is a lie.
which one?
Yeah,
is
you
it?
don't have ADHD.
The choice is yours.
No, but
Rate him in the comments.
I mean, the school system. I don't know if it's the. I mean, math is. I don't know, because math is useful somewhat.
Oh, absolutely.
But, like,
No,
it's
I'm not
just
knocking math at all.
basic
It's just.
math.
Yeah.
No, it's actually not.
I love
Well, you don't
math
think
and
math
science.
is useful? I think it depends on your job. Actually, it depends on your
Pull up your
job.
phone right now.
It depends on your job. Why?
Pull up your phone right
You
now.
about to pull the calculator app out?
Why do you need to know math if everything that you need to know about math is right there?
But that's the same ideology that gets people.
Incorrect.
That gets,
Learn how to use a system. Don't let the system use you.
yes, but if I took that system away and you weren't able to control on your own, I don't. As a person, I wouldn't want that.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
you will be. That's great because that person will become indispensable, which is great. But Name a time in the last year where you haven't had access to a calculator.
Oh, yeah, no.
Exactly. So if you could name the times on it, is it really worth your time to learn that skill? Or is it better to utilize a service that is already in place?
Well, let me ask you this. And
it's
if
ROT, return on time.
If you deny this, it's okay. It's
That's
just
fine.
how I think about
That's
it.
why I love this.
Just because I go to the supermarket every day, right, doesn't mean I should know how to hunt.
Name.
Name it one time I've needed hunting. Sure, like I get what you're saying.
I wasn't even going to say that. I was going to say name a mass majority where that is even useful. Like most people don't know how to hunt.
Absolutely,
it's in a small margin of people who do.
My that's another one of my hot takes. Then, like if you're not doing everything possible to make yourself as capable as possible in situations, what are you doing?
Evolution. Either get on the train or get off,
or build a new train.
Or I mean, you could always take away the phones. You know, I actually had a friend back in the military who wanted to do that. He was like, one of his dreams is he wants to go off the grid completely. And I was like, that's great for you. That's not where I want to be.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's so cool, people that do that. But you have to look at where you want to be in 10 years. If that's where you want to be, I'm with you for that. I will watch you hunt, but it's just not a skill that I want.
I mean, I'm one of those like spazzos that are like afraid AI is going to get so strong that people are going to become stupid, like in WALL-E. So
evolution.
But
get
like,
on the train
we're
or
on that,
get
we're
off.
on that WALL-E path, though. That's what I'm saying.
Evolution.
Like people need to have some self-sustainment, or we're all going to be fat in chairs floating on a spaceship.
Okay,
Do you think that's a bad thing?
Please.
Yes.
Why?
Okay. Can I make one analogy real quick?
Yeah.
So this is gonna sound hot topic, real hot take. Don't take this out of pocket. Racism. Taking it back to when it wasn't commonly accepted not to be racist. Do you know what people used to think? Oh, you know, people like that, you know, we will never get behind that. And guess what? The people now are shunned because they never evolved their mindset to accept all humans. Not saying it's the same, but it has the same concept.
Oh no, I hear
with
what you're
AI.
saying. I just
Evolution.
maybe
get on the
it's
train or get off.
Oh no, I'm on the train. I guess maybe it's from the military, but it's more of like a human capability, right? I don't want to feel that without help from society or technology or something that I am not able to achieve a task.
Well,
you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying in that analogy?
I get what you're saying, but I mean, do you think the same thing probably happened when they invented fire?
Absolutely.
Yes. That
Yes.
happens with every new thing. It's literally what we talked about. Every new thing is going to be shunned until it becomes normal. And the people who normalize it first in their life and make the rules first in their life that it is accepted will integrate it sooner, learn how to use it, and guess what? Sell it as a service.
No, I hear you. You're right.
Thank
but
you.
and in my
Yeah,
one of
I knew
my
that shit was
things-
coming. Yeah, I felt fucking yet.
One of my things is I agree, yes, but I don't think it should be taken in a negative connotation, right? Let's say,
Hey, freedom
let's say
of speech,
everybody's
brother.
hopping on the train, walking's out of style. We're all using hoverboards, but now nobody has no leg muscle. When your hoverboard dies, buddy, you don't know how to walk. Like that's a big rash term, but
No,
that's
it's
my
reality.
same kind of but that's my thought process. If it's a negative growth, I still want to know how to sustain if I don't have.
Get rid of your phone then.
I was gonna say, I mean, doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative growth. Maybe we've lost the ability to like literally fight. And like we probably at one point were fighting.
You said it the other day. Luna could fucking murder us, German Shepherd. Luna could fucking murder us if she only knew. And I thought about that for days after you left. And I was like, that is a crazy fucking concept.
Do you remember what I said to you, Justin? I was like, no, I could take her. Yeah, because I'm capable enough.
Yeah,
No, she
dogs
fucked
are
me up.
quite
She fucked me
aggressive.
up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, if she
fucked me
was
up good, but I think
if she
I
wasn't domesticated,
Oh yeah, that's If I'm
Yeah,
fighting
yeah,
a
no.
wolf, I'm cooked.
yeah, but that's what we're saying.
We
Like
used to
if she
probably be
wasn't domesticated.
Yeah, we probably used to
but
be at a
that's
point
also why humans hunted in packs.
But look, we're being domesticated with phones.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean we should be okay with it. That's all I'm saying.
Give away your phone.
I need it
Put your
now,
mouth.
though.
Put your words where your mouth is. Throw
All
your
right.
phone out the window right now.
I think it's
I'm gonna start
Just kidding.
pigeon mailing my leads. Be like, hey, you still getting your house sold?
I think it's just part of the evolution process.
It is.
I don't
It
know.
is.
Absolutely.
It's
Like, I think
evolution.
it's the AI butterfly.
It is.
We're in a cocoon right now, and we're building this AI butterfly that will form into.
So this is a prediction, and in 10 years from now, I'm gonna watch this fucking video. This is a prediction that I've had. that the people and the companies that integrate AI into their systems faster and sooner than anybody else will just be like Apple did and Android. There'll be two major AI companies that rule the world.
Well, ChatGPT is already one of them.
Not necessarily. They have the start of it. There was phones prior to
are they the
Apple and
BlackBerry? Is what
iPhone.
you're saying? Are they the
But
BlackBerry?
when a company, yes, BlackBerry. But do
They're
you
the
remember who made BlackBerry?
No,
Do
yeah.
you know anything about BlackBerry?
I'm saying, so ChatGPT is like the Motorola.
You get it. There will be companies who see faults within ChatGPT and make it better, just like the owning of the business, finding a way to do it better, and they will take over the marketplace and they'll become the biggest companies. That is the way that's moving. It happens if you look at history and everything. It's the new wave.
But you heard it here first. I agree with growth, but lordy me, if it's 2040 and you don't know how to walk, that's your own problem.
But who said we need to? Like,
Yeah,
why?
who said I need to walk?
I think you're
Buddy,
attached. Why are you attached to the idea of walking?
Because of Wally. I'm talking about Wally still. Like,
But Wally didn't predict Ozempic, did they?
Yes, but that goes back into the object.
shut the fuck up.
Yes.
I don't believe in Ozempic either. Fuck that shit.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but that goes back into the idea.
The weight loss drug that
Are-
makes people lose weight.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you?
Really?
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
But are you? I'm not really big on pop or.
Living under a rock.
Yeah, pretty much. So that goes back into the idea of, are you a creator or a consumer? Those people that you saw on Wall-E were consumers. There was someone who created all of that, and guess what? They probably weren't using it.
Well, then I guess my point is, don't be an ultra consumer and have some self-reliance.
It's because you have to make your own principles for what you want in life.
So you're helping my point out. Thank you.
Welcome to Success Principles.
I'm just thinking about it. Have you guys ever thought about like borders?
What do you mean?
Like, why?
Borders
Why?
in like
Yeah.
countries and states?
Yeah.
I've actually thought about this quite
It's
often.
such a weird concept.
It is. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with everybody went out and planted their flag. If you come on my land, it's my land. I'm allowed to do what I want to you, and we need to have defined things. Like borders are
Yeah, but
stupid.
why?
But why?
What do you mean?
Land is
Yeah.
Why?
you don't really own land.
Exactly.
No, nobody does.
And like, why is it my land versus Canada's land? Like,
because
aren't we all one people?
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense. I agree with you, Justin.
Well, humans have been warlike since day one. Like it's kind of
We're just
built into us.
possessive. We're possessive.
Very.
Every human at a bare minimum. I don't believe all humans
It's human
are bad.
nature.
But it's human nature to want to impose your will on another human for something that you want if you can't get it. And so if society wasn't around, like the only thing that says people own land is that if you try to take somebody else's land, the big guy's going to get you. If the big guy wasn't there, we'd still be like that. You know what I mean?
So do you think, what if there was a trade, right? We got rid of possession, the need for possession,
It's taking away human nature.
but we can't walk.
no.
It's human nature, obviously, but is it a good emotion? Is it
I
a
think it's
good
great.
human nature?
I think it's great.
Are you pitching socialism right now?
No, I'm just saying, like, if you look at some of our, like, you have to think about, like, a lot of the things that we have are, like, from years and thousands of years of just, like, evolution, and they're not necessarily good.
No.
So it's like,
Well, nothing's ever really good or bad. It's all about how you look at it.
I mean, air kills you in 80 years.
I mean, that's just like.
what?
I mean, I get what he's saying. It's a joke because you'll die. But everybody dies who breathes air. You should tell him the joke from the other day from The Office.
All right, can I tell you this joke? I think you'll get. Do you know music? Like
Yes.
a lot of music?
Somewhat.
Just so you know, he got roasted for 3 days
Do you
straight
know?
for
Do
this
you know
joke.
80s
Roasted.
rock? Some 80s rock.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, like Journey, Kansas. All right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Uh-oh.
so this vulture comes home from work, and he walks inside. He sees that his son's playing video games, and there's just peas boiling on the counter.
Okay.
And he comes into his son's room, and he's like, "Hey, man, what the fuck? Like, I told you you're in charge of dinner tonight. Like, why is there only peas on the counter?" He's like, "Get off my fucking back, Dad. I only wanted peas. That's all I'm gonna eat. Like, leave me the fuck alone." He's like, "Hey, whoa, kid. Like, hey, I'm not trying to press you. Like, we talked about this. You know you got to eat more. I don't know what's been going on. Like, ever since your mom fled the coop, like, you've been different. Like, what's going on? Talk to me." And the kid takes a second, and he goes, "Dad, I think I'm gay." And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, "Are you mad at me?" No, kid, I'm not mad at you. I I wasn't expecting you to say that. How about this? I'm gonna fly out. I'm gonna get some dinner, and I'll come back. We could talk about this, okay? And so he flies out. He finds his deer carcass, right? He comes back with the deer carcass. He's in maybe 10 minutes. He walks inside. There's a bunch of beer cans everywhere. He goes in the kitchen. His son's sitting there drunk, and he's like, "Hey, kid, what the fuck? I've been gone 10 minutes. You drank all my vulture beer?" He's like, "Get on my fucking back, Dad. You know, I'm gonna fly around with my friends. I'll be back in a little bit." And he's like, "No, you're gonna eat and you're gonna go to bed. You need to sleep." He's like, "Fine, Dad. I'll just eat my peas." And he says, "No, you're gonna eat this," and slaps this deer carcass on the table. And he's like, "Ew, Dad, what the fuck is that?" And the dad finally snaps and he goes, "This is carry on, my gay bird son. There'll be peas when you are done. Lay your beery head to rest. Don't you fly no more."
And this is when you laugh. Yep.
What?
Somebody on this camera will get that.
That was very...
He got roasted for 3 days
Yes,
straight.
I did. It's a great joke.
But I
don't get it. I didn't get it either.
You ever heard the song "Carry On, My Wayward Son"?
Carry on my wayward son.
Oh,
There'll
yeah.
be peas when you are
I got you.
done.
Damn, that's
Lay
very...
your weary head to...
Yeah, it's just not funny.
That's very niche.
Yeah.
very.
No, it's funny for me because I get to make you guys sit here and listen to some bullshit just to hit you with a shitty punchline.
Yeah, but
and I'm
all I
like,
had to do
yes.
was sit here. You had to waste all that breath.
Oh no, I love doing it.
Okay, you could tell from
I
that
have
energy.
two
There
other
was so
jokes
much
that last
energy
5
there.
minutes. Fine, I'll give you one more.
No. That was good.
No,
Next
this is a
question.
class one. So these two nuns are
I
riding
think
a
you have
bike to the
question.
market.
It's queued up.
These two nuns are riding the bike
Just
to the
go-
market.
just talk
and
over
one
it.
of them says, "Wow, I've never came this way before." And the other one's like, "Yeah, it's probably the cobblestones."
It's a sexual joke.
Oh.
You get it? They're riding a bike. I have horrible.
get
I
that
have
one
good
either.
jokes too. I promise. I just like giving the bad.
This
ones.
is why Peter's single.
Part of
Part of what?
Uh-huh.
Well, because you're too busy working, obviously.
100%.
Yeah.
Sure.
After 2 weeks.
I'm also afraid of women.
Oh.
Oh.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Did you get a new ceiling in here? Or?
I have plants for planting over there.
Yeah, the plant is new.
It's interesting.
It's real.
So now that Peter told us his deepest, darkest secret.
Oh no, not even close.
Okay.
I mean, women are terrifying. That's why, like, what is it? Like half the men, I think, are like what is it? Like half the men our age are like.
So it's half so it's all of the women are sleeping with half of the men. So it goes into the whole idea that
It's not even. It's gotta be like.
it's less than that.
It's gotta be less than that.
Is that
Yeah.
a thing?
Yes. So it goes into the idea that social anxiety and with phones is so high nowadays that most people doing interreaction and even talking to women is such a strange topic.
Because of how society built it up.
No,
Or
because of how unsocially we become. Like, name a time in an elevator where you sat there and didn't talk to the person right next to you and pulled out your phone. Pretty much every day, right?
Oh yeah.
Every
That
day.
was a lot, yeah.
Every day. Guess what? You go 40, 50, 60 years ago, you're the weirdo. You're the awkward guy who's standing in the elevator not talking.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
yeah, think
it
about
goes
it.
into our society.
On a surface level, if you ask a girl out and she says no, she's essentially saying, "I don't think your genes are good enough to be passed on."
I also don't think that she knows what she's getting
She's
into
also
first.
not thinking that deep into it, though.
Well,
She's
yeah,
like,
at a surface
that's
level,
giving them the greatness that they.
well, yeah,
people think.
the mammal creature in her is saying that.
Yeah, it's saying
but
your
up front,
genes
she's
aren't-
like, "No, you're ugly."
Yeah.
But they're saying you're, and like, I mean, most guys don't think of it like that. But I
Yeah.
like saying that. I'm like, if she says no to you, she just said your genes aren't good enough to be
It's
passed
true
on.
though. In a
bitch.
primal state, like it's your pheromones. It goes into what she can see from you just first off of it. I mean, that's why like everybody always says, "Oh, I don't judge off of what people look like." That is the first thing that people judge off of. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
care who you think you are.
Women like me until I talk.
Well, we can fix that,
Yeah, that's
That's
the easy
fixable,
part,
right?
or just don't talk.
Yeah, that's worked for me before.
Because
Yeah.
it's better to
Mysterious.
like start on a high hill and go down and be like, all right, let's fix this, instead of starting at the bottom of the hill and having to climb up.
Well, it actually goes into super deep psychology where it's like it's a validation. People who talk, so it's this huge thing in communication where it's the person who actually talks more is the worst communicator you could ever meet, because the person who talks most means, one, that they don't talk to a lot of people, so that's why they want to talk all the time, and two, it means that they don't know how to articulate the words properly to convey what they're trying to get across with minimal words.
Like they don't know how to be concise.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they have to over explain it. And then it also goes into like deeper things about how you see yourself. Like if I ask Peter, I'm like, so how are you doing?
Not too bad. About yourself?
Most people can't sit there with awkward silence. We actually played this game with him.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. No, like quite literally.
People
We
would
played this game
fill
in
the
sales.
gap.
Yeah, like a lot of times, like name a time where you're ever having a conversation with someone and you don't know what to say, and then you're in your head and you're like, fuck, thought, question, all the time, right? Social, it's your proverbial social anxiety. But when you really think about it, nothing needs to be said.
Or have you ever has your mom ever caught you in something and you lied to her and she just stood there and looked at you and then you ratted yourself out after she stayed silent? Yeah. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Because you just, even though she might have not known, but she knew you were going to do that.
Do you ever, yeah, that's true. Because I was going to say, do you ever have like that where you're like the fuck?
Yeah, all the time.
Have you ever had that?
I feel social anxiety.
Where it's like, you don't have it. And it's like not even necessarily like somebody, because like I've noticed this, like sometimes it'll be like the same, like it'll be two different people, but I know them the exact same. Like maybe I've met them once and we've talked for like 10 minutes max.
It's because you're not comfortable with them yet.
One person I'll be like, oh my God, fuck. But the other one I'll be like,
it's because you're not comfortable with them yet.
But they're the same. It's so interesting because they could be like the same person.
Well, it's also you put them on a higher pedestal. That's the same reason with social media, and a lot of men are scared of women. Like they put them on a pedestal, and so they feel that it's so much more of a failure if they don't say the right thing. But if you stop looking at it as a massive failure and you just shoot in the dark, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, you'll realize how fast it changes.
Yeah, it goes into a lot of self-image too. I mean, personally, I can only speak about it because I used to have, I still do, I don't have the best self-image, but I used to have an even worse one, and something that I still work on. And a lot of the times, like I'd be sitting in rooms with people all the time. Now I'm a lot more, there's very few people where I'm like, fuck. But I used to sit there and I would literally be like panicking, like in my head, like, you know, moving my hands really fast on my thighs, like, what am I supposed to say? Because it goes into a self-image thing. It's like, I need to fill this void so that they don't think I'm weird.
And if you really want to smash it, it's a double whammy when, one, forcing yourself to talk when you go fuck, but two, surrounding yourself only with people you do that with. Because that means you do hold them to account. Like, you do care about that. And say it's, 5 people you be around makes you. So.
Another thing is your brain is also a calculator. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard this before, or you. I mean, you probably heard me say it before, that your brain's a calculator. The questions that you ask it, it will answer. So if you say, like, fuck, what should I say? It'll come up with something. But if you're like, let's just say in a social situation, if you're at the bar and you're in your head and you're like, oh, I feel so awkward and uncomfortable. I don't know what to say. Like, why is everybody having fun? And I'm just the weird guy standing here with my drink and I have nothing to do. Your brain's going to start coming up with reasons why you are the weird guy standing with a cup being weird. Instead, it's called framing. It's another success principle. And it's a thing where you change how you frame the question to get a different answer. So instead of standing there, like, you have to catch yourself. I still do it too.
It's the hardest thing is like in the moment doing it.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice. So while you're sitting there and you're like, oh, this is so awkward. Like, I'm the weird guy sitting here. It's like, wait, no. Everybody feels social anxiety. What do I want to be feeling? Okay, I want to have fun tonight. What would someone do if they were having fun? And then guess what? You'll come up with answers. Oh, I'd be over there dancing with everybody else. Your brain can only answer the questions that you ask. You have every single answer you ever need. You just need to ask the right question.
You're only gonna see red if you only think of red. You're only gonna find red.
You probably heard that one before. It's Tony Robbins. One of his most favorite things he does at his conventions.
Yeah, like if I tell you, like if we're in this room and I'm like, all right, find everything green. Find everything green. You'd hunt for green shit, and then without letting you look, all right, tell me what was red. You wouldn't be able to see any of it.
Yeah.
And it's in the same capacity of like, if I'm sitting there ruminating over an argument, like I'm gonna sit there and realize like, hey, I did this wrong. She like the other person did that wrong. But if I more shift to, all right, like why did this happen? And like what can I do to circumnavigate? Like what would I do in this situation to let this not happen? I mean that's a shittier philosophy, a shittier metaphor. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, and I think it's kind of crazy that alcohol just vanishes that.
Yeah.
Well,
that's insane.
It cuts off. It slows down your frontal cortex.
Yeah, it's an inhibitor.
Don't do this. It's like that part.
It's funny. Human evolution is the thing that gives you anxiety. Because the faster your mind starts going with the evolved times, that's what races your head, and alcohol slows your mind down so you don't have all of those beating. Wait, don't say that. So you just...
Well, it also goes into social media as well. Like, I'm not saying these things are terrible. I'm saying how we use them is not always the best. Like, social media a lot, you see all these rich 24-year-olds. Like, I'm 25, and, you know, I look at that, and I'm like, holy fuck, compared to my life. My life shit. And back... You know, before we had social media or phones, like the person you compared yourself to was your father, a teacher, the people that you worked with. So it was people you were comparing to like things. It's like trying to compare a triangle to a fucking octagon now. And it's not always the same, and not everything is true. It's all propaganda until fact.
And the opposite side of that same coin is... If you're not happy now, you won't be happy when you get what you want.
Ooh.
Because, and I read this study. So they took this scale of happiness on on a few of these people.
He just did it right there. He did it the fact where he couldn't be quiet. Did you notice it? So did you see it? I'm not sure if it actually happened or if you just had another thought, but you were speaking, and then that was the end of the statement, and instead of letting there be silence. Now you started talking about it.
Oh yeah, no, I had a second thought that hopped in, but no, I get what you're saying.
I know this was you're talking about.
But so there was this guy. They took his happiness scale. There's a scale on like his mental level of happiness. You know how he's doing, and then he got his legs cut off. Like he became a paraplegic. And they saw that like it took it a month after they saw he was down here compared to up here.
Yeah.
And then 8 months later, with no legs forever, they took a scale again, and he was right where he was, right around where he was when he had legs. So that just proves, like, just because you won this situation and you got what you wanted, it's not going to make you eternally happy, or you had to be happy in the first place, and you got to find that yourself.
Dig deep, find which. I mean, I don't know. I think happiness is overrated, roughly. Honestly, I don't think life is about being happy necessarily.
I think happiness, so chasing happiness is just like chasing an emotion. Like, you're going to be consistently doing dopamine activities every day, but life is feeling everything. Life is growing through everything. Like, happiness is a byproduct of the things you should do, not something you should strive for.
Also, what most people do incorrectly is they say, I want to be happy, I want to be successful.
I want to do things.
Fucking define what that even means. Like, a lot of times I'll meet people and they'll be like, oh, I want to be successful. I'm like, that's great. What does success look like to you? Or I want to be happy. Okay, that's great. What does happiness look like to you? Oh, how can you achieve something you don't even know what it looks like? You're just going to hope that one day you're going to wake up and I'm going to be happy. That's not how happiness works. You can't achieve something you cannot define.
Even if you have the strongest engine with the most horsepower, if you don't have a sick goal, you're going to go in donuts.
Going back to life isn't about happiness, I agree with that to a point, on to the fact of I don't agree with happiness. I agree with fulfillment. Because I don't want to live a happy life, because that means that I'm never going to live through the tough things, which is what he was talking about, where the world isn't all emotions, but I want to live to fulfillment, which is very easy. Well, in my opinion, very easy to have numeric values to things that I've done.
Do you feel like your fulfillment level, or like where you want to be when you're like fulfilled, has changed?
Yeah, every time. It's like climbing a double-faced mountain. Every time I hit a peak, there's a higher peak. And at the next peak, there's the next one. But that's the beauty of life. That is absolute. Like, I'm starting to perk up now, because that's the beauty of it, is achieving things that you never thought was possible. I think it's the biggest thing. Putting a bigger goal in front of me, and I'm going to fucking demolish it. And then I'm going to work hard to get it. And this is a lot of people, when they meet me, especially in this phase of my life, because there's all phases. There's different phases. They meet me and they're like, oh, all this guy cares about is money and business. Yes, in this phase of life, that is what I'm trying to achieve. So you tell me, why would I not be focused on it? I don't have a family. I'm not really focused too much on hobbies. Like, I'm focused on building one of the fundamental things for fulfillment in life, which it's actually the second. The first one's friendship or fellowship. The second one is money. Like, you need to fill that. And then moving on, like, the next phase of my life could potentially be family And then I will focus purely on that, building my kids, my wife, so that we can be fulfilled together.
And I also believe that fulfillment has a direct correlation with the challenge at hand, right? So depending on how hard of something you fought over is how fulfilled you'll be. And in that same sense, to achieve more happiness, to achieve greater happiness, you need to achieve deeper, dark emotion to shoot it up. You're only going to increase your levels on both sides, but you have to increase both sides. So if you have a small task, you're going to feel slightly fulfilled, you get slightly happy. But if you went through the trenches and you won, the level of happiness is entirely gauged. You need the shit to get the shine.
So you said you don't believe in happiness.
Well,
Write that down.
I don't think that anybody should be chasing after happiness, honestly.
I don't, and no opinion is ever wrong. It's your opinion.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, I mean, if you're going to be chasing happiness all the time, eventually it's just, you'll going to have to chase, you're going to chase the next thing and the next thing. Because like, I mean, there's billionaires out there that are eating the most delicious food, and now they like, that food is tasting bland to them.
The steaks only get so big and the cars only get so fast.
Yeah. It's kind of insane to like think, what was attachment? Like you get attached to like ideas, or you get attached to like.
That's why the best thing to do is attach to the chase.
The most beautiful book, and Peter's read it. It's called Chop Wood, Carry Water. It goes into that. Like I know this one girl. We used to be really good friends, decent good friends, and she would talk about. She's a bartender, and she'd talk about how these multimillionaires would come to the bars, and because she would ask me, she's like, "Oh, why do you want to go sober?" And I told her that. And she was like, "Oh, but I see all these multimillionaires coming to the bars. Like, you don't need to stop drinking to be successful." And I was like, "But are they happy?" And she was like, "Well, no, a lot of them are always complaining." And I was like, "See, that's the difference. I don't just want to be successful. I want to be fulfilled. I want to be happy in my own right." So, yeah. So I love that, honestly.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's just... I don't know. I try not to get like too. I think like a lot of like everybody gets hooked up on like every emotion. I think they just come so emotional. Yeah. Like it's just like.
I like how you go about this.
Yeah.
Like even though like I mean, I'm not trying to talk you up in your podcast, but like you ask an engaging question that sparks the conversation.
You're not trying to talk him up means that you are talking him up.
Yeah. Well, if I say it, if somebody says it about themselves, it's talking themselves up. If somebody else says it, it's truth.
Don't hurt me, man. You're a lot bigger than me.
Either way, you ask good questions because it sparks conversations. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying to get better at it. I don't know.
No, you're
That's
good,
the
dude.
beauty of the process.
Yeah.
Every single time, you're gonna get better. Like
What
there
else you
is
got?
no. This is another thing that I love about entrepreneurship. There is no right or wrong. There's either did or didn't. You either took the shot or you didn't. And guess what? There's a guy that's hungry like me that if I don't take that shot, he's going to take that shot.
I will take that shot.
Yeah, this is like a real thing. Yes, he might be, brand new in the business of real estate, but I guarantee you, let's just say in a couple years when I get a little fatter, a little, more money in my bank account, I will slow down. And if I let myself slow down, a kid like that will come right behind me and beat the shit out of my business. And that isn't always true, but it's just that's one thing that always in the back of my head.
Oh no, but I will, no matter what he does.
Okay, but to the point of you're gonna be fucking great at this.
Fuck yeah.
I think so. I know so.
No
other kids.
Fuck
Do you know
yeah.
anybody else who's doing shit like this? Because I
This
don't.
is the table of future millionaires. I promise.
Oh yeah.
I
100%,
promise.
100%. That's why I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah,
like
man.
I personally like I enjoy like I don't know. I enjoy like finance and like all that stuff, but this
It's
is
not for
like
everybody.
it's not like I can't see myself doing that for a while, like even 5 years. So it's like I had to figure something out. So
You gotta find your thing, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do right now. So
That's the thing, man. I find learning about money fun. Like I watch YouTube videos on my time when I'm not working, watching videos about money, watching videos about communication, psychology, sociology. For that shit, most people would be like, that's weird. But for me, that's fun. And if you don't get me, that's fine.
yeah,
Like, that's actually what I want. Because if everybody thought how I did, then everybody would, I would be like everybody else.
I got a question for you.
That sounds
So-
egotistical, I'm not going to lie.
What?
A little bit. Anyways, you said...
no, I think it's.
that's
I
not.
mean,
I mean, protecting what your goals are and your drives, and not letting it.
Yeah, I just don't like sounding egotistical.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't think everybody would think that.
Well, I did, so clearly someone else will.
Sure. on all your podcasts so far, have they always been face oriented, or have they gotten into you too? Like, do your viewers know you?
It's right here.
Yeah, I'm tracking, but like, how often do you talk about yourself, your
flip
past,
the script.
your things? Like, have you done that yet? I'm asking.
Nah, I mean, sure, it probably comes up like if I had to like break it down, probably like 80%, 90% the guess, and
But
then
that's
like
the
10%,
difference, though, is he's
20%.
on every episode, so that 80% actually is bigger.
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
get it. But you know, when's the
kinda cool,
last
though.
time Justin had a good lore drop? That's what I'm asking.
I don't think there has been one. I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily think there has been one for the most part. I mean,
Well,
I just
what question you got in there that we can all answer that'll give us a good lore drop or some nitty gritty for this?
some nitty gritty.
I feel like you write down questions, and half the time you use maybe a quarter of them.
I have a whole bunch of sections. So, all right, let's break it down. I have philosophical,
Oh, I love philosophy.
societal,
Ooh, that's a great one, too.
personal, financial, or political. Which
Brother,
one?
like, you are talking to
anything
the
besides
person that will
political.
talk about all of that. Like, we will
Which-
shoot.
I'm
Which one do you want?
non-political. I really don't know anything about politics.
I mean, yeah, I like politics for the fact that like it talks about just human emotion and
well, I
human
just
drive.
don't know anything about politics. Like, I don't
Oh,
watch
yeah.
any of it.
Okay.
It's all bullshit.
So what? I have a question. All right, we'll do a philosophical one. What do you think is more important, truth or loyalty?
Loyalty.
Truth.
Really? Why loyalty?
Why not?
Let me.
That's one of the that's
Can
one
I
of the
only
things
have
that you
one or the
can't
other?
buy in the world. Loyalty is the only thing, one of the only things that you can't buy in the world. I can buy the truth. If I give you enough money, you'll tell me the right answer. But you can't buy someone's loyalty. You can buy somebody's time, but not their loyalty.
Can I only have one or the other in this instance?
That was the question.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna switch back around to loyalty,
Loyalty?
because I mean I'd
Got
say
him.
point one of the biggest things. The people that are loyal to you won't lie to you. And
Correct.
so it kind of encompasses the truth in the same fact.
Correct.
I'd rather people loyal to me and people who aren't that I don't care if they lie to me if they aren't. They're not my people, right? But if the people that are loyal, it comes with truth.
Anybody who's ever one of my only things that I actually look for in friends is loyalty. Is one of the number one things that I look for. Because I will give you mine, and I expect yours. In the moment that you either don't give me your loyalty, or you ruin my loyalty, we're done.
So you don't think that can conflict?
Well, I
Loyalty
think
and truth?
loyalty is. I think telling a
No, I think they
lie
go
is a
hand in
break
hand.
of loyalty.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you lie to the
okay.
person you're loyal to, you're obviously not loyal to them.
But there is an aspects where loyalty and truth, being honesty, can coincide. Like, there's a really great show that's getting a lot of media, and it's Suits right now. And in the TV show, I'm a big fan of it. In the TV show, the main character Harvey, and then this sub character, which is also a main character, he's pretty main, Mike. There's another character, and she makes Mike go against Harvey, and he's always been loyal, but she twists his arm. So in that aspect, still loyal to him, but has to lie to him to save his own rear end. So they actually part ways because of that, because Harvey knows and understands that loyalty is one of the only things in this world that you cannot buy. So the moment that he loses his loyalty, he has to reprimand him. And that goes back to learning like a politician, that you need to learn how to control people. And this sounds terrible. It's human nature.
you have to punish disloyalty to get the action to not repeat.
Yes, because you teach people how to treat you. If you always made fun of me and I laugh at your jokes and I'm giving you a high five, when you're making fun of me, you're going to continue to do it. But if you make fun of me and I ignore you, you will stop doing it.
Yeah.
And it's because you treat people how to treat you.
What would you choose?
Loyalty. I think so.
Oh, what fucking question me, motherfucker.
I mean, I think it's just not like, truth is, I don't know. I think it's, I don't know, because, actually.
What do you think is better, truth or forwardness?
Explain what you mean by forwardness.
So truth, ask me a question.
What color is the sky?
The sky is blue. So that's truth. This is forwardness. Hey, Peter, I just wanted to let you know the sky is blue. I'm letting him know before you even ask the question. So let's just say, and make it more relatable, understandable. In a relationship, hey, did you go hang out with those guys the other night? Yes, I did. Or the girl saying, I hung out with those guys, or I'm going to hang out with those guys the other night. Or tomorrow,
or she's
tonight.
telling you she's gonna.
She's telling you instead of just answering a question.
I'd rather forwardness.
100%.
Yeah, because in the sense that I have to go asking for truth,
Means you're trying to hide it.
It means you're trying to hide it.
Or not necessarily
Not
hide
necessarily.
Not necessarily, but
You just think it's not that important.
Yes,
To bring
I
up.
mean,
agree.
yeah.
But so that also goes into critical conversations and understanding what should come forward.
I would probably say, I mean, I guess forwardness, but the thing is, I think I for sure struggle with that because in my head I'm like nothing is that important to bring up to somebody until they ask, in my opinion.
I wouldn't want, at the same rate, I wouldn't want people coming up to me every day like, hey man, your eyebrows are disaligned, I just want to let you know. Like, hey, fuck face.
That's not
all
the same.
right.
That's not the same.
So yeah, well yes, it
You can have
is.
some
It
in your
is.
teeth.
It is it. But that goes into the second point where you need to have critical conversations on what needs to be communicated.
Yeah. But once that's happened, you would rather forwardness over truth.
100%.
Okay.
Like truthfulness. If we have that critical conversation and then I have to ask you every time, I'm teaching you how to treat me. So you're just not going to tell me things until I ask, and it's just a waste of both of our times. Like
But there's okay. I was gonna say because there could be too much forwardness, but
is there? I mean, in the end of the day, I get to choose what I retain in my brain or not. Like if she tells me about her day, I can sit there and listen, and I can be like, all right, brain dump.
Yeah, fuck her day.
Well, I mean, if you go the same thing, let's just say me and Peter go, we go and do something. We go and play golf, and he's telling me all about him and his family and how it was. I mean, in all reality, like I'll sit there and listen to the key points. Like he hung out with his family, his sister's doing this, his mother's doing this, but I'm not going to remember all the minute details that he told me. He will, because it's important to him. But at the end of the day, it's human nature. I'm not going to remember things that aren't important to me. Peter is important to me, yes, so I will remember the majority of it. But yet,
You don't know those people.
I don't know these people, so I'm not going to remember all those small things.
so you'd rather him bring it up instead of you asking how was your day. He's just like, hey, my day was like this.
Yeah.
You would.
But I mean, this is going into like
you do that?
I really don't give a shit about someone's day personally because I think that's a terrible.
I don't think
point.
anybody gives a fuck. It's just courtesy.
No. I mean, I think it depends.
I mean,
I guess
unless
you
you're
have to have. I
directly
would say you have to have enough
relationship.
EQ to understand when it is applicable.
Yeah.
Because in the situation like that, talking about someone's day, but in it, come on, like use your fucking EQ. Like if you're in a relationship, you're gonna want to know if she's hanging out with other guys.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you're in an elevator and you're saying, how's your day going? Like, you're just filling the void. Do you really give a fuck? You're never going to see them
but
again.
it's good. It's how you start small talk.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying at the baseline, nobody really cares if you don't know each other.
you guys usually start. How do you guys start small talk?
Well, no, I
That's a
mean,
great
on the
question
phone
because I think most people don't talk about this more often.
Yeah.
So many people are terrible at small talk.
What do you? Yeah. Do you guys have any like
I
go-tos?
hate it.
Oh, yeah.
But I know how to do it.
What do you do?
Good afternoon. Good
Really?
morning. It is so simple. People, see, just like that. From
Hey,
that response right there
what's on that
tells me
necklace?
you overthink it.
It's the eye of.
Boom, he just did it.
Yeah.
He just
Eye
did
of
it.
horse?
Yeah.
What
I will
makes
say
you
that's
into that?
level 2 though, because you have to find something that is interesting. to
Yeah,
have a
but I nab
conversation.
onto those
Yes,
things, so.
which is great. For
okay.
some people, it's great, but that's level 2 is finding something you can ask a question on. Level 1 is simply just opening your mouth. Hey, good afternoon. How was your day?
Bro,
What do you do for work?
you would not understand the leaps and bounds you would make at the bar if you just like, hey, what are you thinking about? Bro, people will dump to you immediately.
Yeah. That's
What are
my.
you thinking
That's
about
my,
right
my
now?
go-to. I usually
Like,
ask
you look
people-
like you're thinking. You say that?
It works. No, I say, why do you drink? That's my go-to.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you drinking right now? And they were like,
You got to say that in the right tonality
you do
because
have
that
to
can
say
come
the right tone.
confrontational.
Because sometimes I'll ask it sarcastically.
Especially to women.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, especially with that, it's a good question. Change your why to what so it doesn't sound as much state of us. What's making you drink?
Yes. So why is a
What's the
confrontational
occasion
word?
for this?
Sometimes I try to make it conversational though.
Oh, no,
Okay.
yeah. But saying,
I would
like,
say
if you say
comedic
why
effect.
with
Yeah.
the wrong swing, you just sound like, what the fuck are you drinking?
Why are you drinking?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's
the fuck?
definitely going to become super confrontational, especially with women, because it's already implied that if you're walking up to them, you're going to try to flirt with them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the
They're
implied
already
thing.
expecting, yeah.
Yeah. They're already expecting it. I don't know what they're going to expect.
I mean,
'cause I'm not a woman.
barriers
and yeah,
are already up.
What's
You
your
know what I mean?
What's your opinion on that? Like people that go to the bar, or like go to those social settings where obviously most people are like
Single.
single and like hitting on each other.
Yeah.
And then the people that have like why is somebody there that has a shitty attitude?
So this is very
They
conflicting
just hit you
to
with
me.
like a
What, the people that are in like relationships, you're saying?
No.
Shitty
Just
mood,
going there and then people like have a terrible attitude. You're like, why do you have like you're in this social setting. You're here for a reason.
No, it's you. You're the common denominator.
Oh yeah, you're right.
No. Like no. In all actuality, like you walk up to someone. If the most beautiful mellow ball walked up to them, what's the common denominator? The girl or you? Let's be realistic here. She just doesn't find your genes attractive enough to put on a smile. Damn. And but it's human nature,
yeah,
like that.
Crazy,
you have to go through, especially nowadays with Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, Grindr. You have to go through so many different partners, just to get to it. So you have to talk to so many women.
But if you think about it, like, all right, do you think if you were a girl and this was happening,
this is going to be difficult for me.
Do you think you would like have a shitty, like if a guy's coming up to you, you're going to have a shitty attitude?
Well, I'm going to look for the best candidates. If I'm getting multiple guys to come up to me, I'm looking for the best candidates.
But are you going to be shitty about turning the guys down?
I see, this is very conflicting for me because one, at the same time, being a guy and having friends, I know how shitty men can be when they get rejected. So they ruin it for all of us. And two, like some of us don't take no for an answer, so they have to be mean.
Yeah, that's
but carrying it every time as a man, that's when it comes to my bias of no, I don't agree.
Well, I mean that also I actually really like this topic because I've done a lot of thinking and looking into this shit. A lot of the times, like, when a woman let me ask you, what would you rather? Would you rather a woman be like, yeah, I'm just not interested, you're not my type, or would you rather a woman be like, yeah, take my number and start texting you every day, every month, hanging out with you, but literally no intentions of ever sleeping with you, being with you? Just
the first one, yeah,
exactly.
Rip it like a band-aid.
But why are we so scared when a woman does that?
Because you put them on a pedestal.
No, because people are scared to get told no.
Yeah, rejection too.
Yes.
But that's if you don't put somebody on a pedestal, you're not afraid of those rejections.
I am too. When I say people, I am people. So please let that be known. I don't like getting told no from a woman as much as anybody else. I will say I do it, but it's just still not fun.
I mean, it's a weird balance because, like, I mean, you can get to a certain point, and then there's guys out there that like they'll just hit on women, and they've hit on so many women in their life that they don't care.
Yes.
And it's like, what's the point at that point?
Well, it's point of what?
Like, why are you hitting on women? Like, if you don't even care about like what they're gonna say, like,
I mean, the men that are shooting, at everything they can aren't the ones actively looking for something. Like, what I mean is, like you said, it takes the value out of it. Like, you know, there's only so many times like you're gonna go up to the girl you like and it works out and it feels good, like it feels like an occasion. Right, and then the men that are out there just batting 1,000. They're not worried about it. They're just trying to build skill. Yeah. They're just trying to build skill, right? Yeah. That's a game and a mindset to them at that point. The men who are just don't like rejection and go up to very beyond in between, they're looking at it as the this is the woman I want to talk to sense.
You know, most men also have this really messed up ideology where they only need to talk to women that they only flirt with women that they find super attractive, and it is the most what's the word?
I would get very selective about your words.
It's a paradoxical situation. No, because beauty's subjective.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, you don't want to go out saying like, hey, man, you should flirt with people you don't like.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
Okay. There's plenty of marriages that are like somebody wasn't attracted to the other person.
Yeah.
And then now they're like initial attraction is not always.
Yeah, so it's this paradoxical thing where people think that you should. Okay, so it goes. Let me explain this. So it's this paradoxical thing where people think they should only flirt with women when they're attracted. Let me ask you, how many NBA players do you know that made it to the league that only played in games? None.
Yeah, what do you mean?
They went to the park and put up shots.
Oh, so like no practice.
No practice.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's kind of, and it's terrible. It's not terrible to say. It's communication skills. It is a skill. Flirting is a skill. Charisma is a skill. And it's if you never flex these mental muscles. Most people only think about physical muscles, like how big is my bicep, but they lack to understand the fact that your brain is also a muscle, and such things like financial literacy is a skill. So communication is a skill. You asked me and you sat me down 5 years ago, same conversation, same questions, I'd be like, that's a good question. Let me think about that one.
Yeah.
Like, I've spent a lot of time reading, studying, different things to get to the point because it is a skill.
And comedic timing. I think a lot of people think that like you're just funny. Like
Timing is
you
nice.
can develop being funny.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Trial and error.
Yeah, it's just
I say shitty jokes.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
charisma.
yeah.
well, there's also like the thing of like you can increase like how fast because like maybe you were in a situation you're like, dang, 5 minutes later you're like, oh my god, if I would have said that would have been hilarious.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, I can improve that.
Yes.
Like, all right, you know what? Let me next time be more aware of like something witty.
So what that is it's called mental role play. Have you ever heard of shadow boxing? So a lot of people don't actually understand this concept that when people are shadow boxing, they're actually envisioning the person that they're fighting, but what they're not just envisioning is their face and what they're wearing. They're envisioning how they actually box.
Where their hands are going. Yeah.
Yes, and they do that from watching how they fight. They watch their films, and from that, they're imagining how, from their films, how they would box them. So with that, playing these conversations in your head. With that, in sales, running that conversation, that objection in your head, and then sorting through it on better ways, and then trying it again.
Yeah, the only reason I was saying to watch words is because practicing flirting, I agree, but it could get taken into the using women account. I just didn't want you to put it that far in.
I don't believe using women or anybody. I just believe.
Yeah, no,
like,
I was just that's why I was saying like make sure you say it right.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
only reason.
Thanks, Dad.
Of course, buddy. Of course, buddy. I got you anytime.
She's
Sorry.
getting canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
You have 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Ooh.
yeah, dude, the time flew. It's almost been 2 hours.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like we could have talked for like another 2.
We definitely could have.
There's so many more questions
There's
we
a
could have
lot.
laughed. We didn't get into the laughing portions. Like I wanted to cut your ass or something. Like now you just think we're sales bros. Like no, we're funny.
No, I mean, we talked about that for like maybe a quarter of the time.
Well, I mean, hold up. Let me text my because I'm not actually running it.
Oh.
I
Okay.
mean, do you want to keep on going?
I mean, it's up to y'all. It's up to you. If you're free, I gotta use the bathroom though.
I
so
do
I'll
have
be
to use
back.
the bathroom, so we can take like a 10-minute pause.
3's a crowd, 4's an orgy.
Yeah, and 5 is too many. Maybe.
Don't look at me like that.
Unless like the Wu-Tang Clan wants me to interview them, then
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
make
yo,
some
yeah, fuck it.
exceptions.
Imagine the whole Wu-Tang clan in this little ass apartment.
Dude, there was a comedian that joked about a woman whose goal was she was like, I want to suck off a Wu-Tang member. Like I want to give head to a Wu-Tang member. And then she completed her goal by giving all 9 of them head on the tour bus.
And I guarantee, because it was such a big challenge, she felt very fulfilled. Also filled.
She probably put it on like her OnlyFans if she's smart.
No, this is before OnlyFans. This is like when they were popping.
Did you know this year OnlyFans creators yielded more billions than all NBA players combined?
Wait, what?
I can believe that. Well, if you think about it,
OnlyFans net yield that went all to content creators was like 5.4 billion, and then all the money that was paid to NBA players was like 4.8 billion.
Nice.
That's
Well,
crazy.
I mean, you gotta
Well,
think
I mean,
about it.
that's
There's-
exactly going back to what I
porn
talked
thing,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, that the attention span is the new oil.
Especially.
Like, yeah.
But there's also a limit on NBA players.
Yep.
There's not a limit on
So you
OnlyFans.
gotta.
There ain't a limit on video in your pussy.
What if there was?
Well, you have to look at it as supply and demand.
Imagine like we need to see your cooter to make sure it's OnlyFans worthy.
Yeah.
Imagine getting denied
Like
because
there's-
your lips are mismatched.
There's the professional, and then there's like
Yeah.
the D League.
You're in the Bush League.
Yeah. Go back to college. Like
Fuck,
what?
that would be pretty wild. So this is actually crazy.
Your
So
dick's
this is a
not
crazy
big enough.
thought. So 4 or 5 years ago, me and this one, while still in the military, he was a sergeant, right? And me and him had this great idea that we were going to start a business. And it was right when OnlyFans became big. I would pour him up while we're talking. So just save time.
We're back, by the way. I didn't really say
We
that.
didn't break, yeah.
We didn't break, but
But
No,
yeah, I
fine.
assumed you were just like, okay. Anyways, so what he did, what we were talking about is like, you know how the penthouse house. What I forget what it's fucking called. Playboy Bunny Mansion.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go with that. That's a much better one.
The Playboy Mansion.
Yes, and so he was actually a manager for them. So we had this grand idea where it was like, why don't we become start a management company for these OnlyFans girls?
People do that already. Yeah.
So you say already now, 4 years ago when it started,
Oh, yeah.
no. So now that comes back to today where I started seeing how much money these management companies are making off of these girls. And I'm like, that was an idea. And because I was too scared to take action, I got beat out.
Dude, I have a personal
And I was too young and did no business.
Because in my real estate course, I took a webinar.
You're in real estate?
Yeah, a little bit.
Crazy.
You know a realtor?
No.
Oh, somebody wanted me to ask y'all that.
What?
What's the difference between a real estate agent and a realtor?
Oh,
Fuck if
you're
I know.
associated with the National Association of Realtors. If you're not associated with that organization, which you pay into, you're just a broker, which is an agent.
Okay.
I just worry about selling houses.
But I was on my pre-licensing course. It was a webinar, and there was an OnlyFans model in it. And I didn't know she was at first. She was just some good-looking chick in the cameras.
Okay.
And so I don't know how it happened. That guy has a massive cock. Either way, we
now
started.
he's going to have to throw this entire clip away.
No.
No, I mean, if it's a Hellcat, statistically he does. But
I just meant by the fact that... All right, anyways,
Push came to shove. We started texting. So she has a house in Asheville, and I drove out to it, right? So...
An hour and a half for pussy.
No, I didn't. We didn't even fuck.
An hour and a half for a hug.
Yeah, I got a hug. I didn't give a fuck. I also got a really cool monster refrigerator she just gave me because she had money like that. Like, what I'm saying is, I got there. I'm not gonna lie. Great girl. Like, room temperature IQ. I hope she doesn't see this. Either way.
I'm going to send it to her.
Like, she even told me, she was like, oh yeah, whenever like my manager texts me, I just go take some pics and send it in, and then I just see money hit my bank account. Like, she started a salon. She has a Benz. She has a massive truck. She just G chilling. She's 22. I'm like, damn, bro.
and she wants her license. Well, I guess.
She wanted her license, but she failed the class.
Oh,
I know a guy
And then she
who's
started
22 years old that's on our team that made net gross $100,000 last year. Like,
Big
at
dude.
22 years old.
Shout out Christian.
Well, I wasn't going to name drop because that's not my information, but...
oh, yeah.
Well, at least they don't know
Who
his
knows
last
him?
name. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's
the guy
millions of
made...
Christians.
The guy, like, he grossed $100,000 at 22 years of age. I mean, name another job in the world where you can work for 2 years and make $100,000. Work for 2 years building the business to make $100,000 in a year.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, but you have to be... Good luck.
Hey.
Hey, I said good luck. I will.
People like
I will
tiny
not support you. I
peepees.
lied. Don't look at me.
Yeah. It's unexplored field. I mean, it used to. All the statues from like the 1500s, they're all.
I
Yeah.
read somewhere that they were made like that to make the mass feel better. Because seeing that perfect body with a smaller penis made people feel better. I don't know if that's
because
true or
they're
not.
fully perfect.
Yeah, I don't know if that was true or not, but I read that in, and like that's why Michelangelo did that.
Yeah, but if you look underneath like Zeus's, like if you ever saw the sculptures for Zeus,
Is
he's
it
a
a
massive.
fucking
yeah,
horse
yeah,
cock?
barely touch his knees. Yeah. No, I'm just playing. Don't
Tripod.
look up Zeus' dick right now. That's fucking weird.
It's okay. Smaller genitalia was considered a sign of ideal masculinity.
Wow.
Because
Self-control,
Of
intellect,
insecurity.
and a balanced mind, which makes sense because they use that
Stoicism.
excuse
insecure.
for like Africans. They were like, oh, these savages.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow!
Yeah.
I
That's
never
what
even thought
it was
about
a
that.
baseline insecurity, and they would have had to agree that they had small penises or just correlate it with something good, and they chose the latter.
And just some good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ultimate gaslight.
Yeah,
That's pretty
for a
smart.
tiny wee wee.
But shot.
Oh yeah.
Shot.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment I do pretty much every time. So we are doing shot or not. Today we have Mezcal, Vago, Espadin. It's by I don't know how to say any of these, but we're gonna try it out. It's a decent Mezcal.
And you heard it here first. Eventually, when he does shot or not, it's going to be the distillery paying him to use their alcohol. And that's what it's going to be for.
I would love to do like 5-year plan.
Yeah.
If I can
Like the shot or
Stop
not
saying
series.
if.
Okay, when
There you go.
I retire, not retire, but like when I can do this full time, make it like a spin-off of
Yeah.
like Shot or Not, but like Hot
Yeah.
One style.
Yeah. So you can post like a podcast once a week and then that once a week, so that you can be posting multiple contents for different.
And at the same, at the same rate, once you grow your business, you know, Buffalo Trace will reach out, hey, use our alcohol for the shot or not, and you'll get paid for it. Yeah.
That's true.
it's monetization.
Actually, I'd
yeah.
want the owners there, honestly, and do it with the
I mean,
owners.
do it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what you should do, make
Just
shot
take
or
a
not,
shot.
put it all in clear bottles, and then have the owners of that alcohol there and give them theirs and say if they say it's shot or not.
Yeah, be like, is this good?
And they're like, no, this is ass. I'm like, well, it's yours.
That's what you do with they do that with like wine a lot because people are like super snobby with wine.
Well, it's one of the most competitive markets in the world.
Have you seen when I worked at STK for a week, bro, they like people won't like wine if it's on the other side of the river in France, even if it's in the same place. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. People get very snobby with it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know anything about wine. I don't know anything about wine.
I think wine is cool.
Is that from... Where's that shot glass from?
Istanbul.
Oh, never mind.
Shot.
I think so too.
I like it. It has a good smoky aftertaste. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you barbecued mezcal.
If you had to guess the proof, what would you think it is?
48 proof.
50.
Oh, well, 50%. So 100 proof.
Oh, yeah.
So you're right. I think you were
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I was gauging. I reversed it. I thought proof was the half.
No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I always forget too. But yeah, I think
That's
wine.
straight? Damn.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
Yo, did you get a new ceiling in here?
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
he drew a bunch of dicks
Crazy,
on it.
right?
No wonder you're looking at it.
But no, I don't know, the concept, the fact that we've learned to like turn a grape into like alcohol, like it's kind of
Humans have been finding ways to inebriate themselves for millennia.
yeah. There's a I forgot his name, but there's some philosopher like historian who thinks his theory is that we didn't start farming because of food. We started farming because of alcohol, and food was a byproduct.
I don't know if I could
That's
agree,
an
but I'm not going to
interesting
deny that. Yeah.
Because like I mean, they probably started eating fermented
But
fruit.
how would they know what alcohol was to even start it?
Well, they correlated probably fermented fruit with getting fucked up, and then they probably because, squashing coconuts and fruit for their liquids was a common human thing even back then. So when they're eating this fermented fruit and it fucked them up, they probably decided to do the same and derive the liquid out of it. That's how I would think it went down.
His name
What
is
do you think?
Edward Slingerland. If anybody looks him up.
I said
That's a good
like a
ass
fucking
name.
retard.
Slingerling.
Slingerland, yeah.
Oh.
Slinger.
I mean, I could see that honestly.
Yeah.
As much as people love... No, because that's also modern marketing put into it.
What are you talking about?
Modern marketing, that's why people drink so much, is because it's so commercialized.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like if you watch any video or like any commercial from alcohol, it's always people having fun. It's like always everybody in a group where it's like what you do when you're social.
Have you ever seen an 80s cigarette commercial?
No. I'm
Like,
sure it's the same tactic.
No, it's literally like the hot model actress or the superstar rock star, like an old Camel commercial. They had, you know who Knight Rider is?
Yes, the car.
Yeah, they had Hasselhoff and Knight Rider smoking a Camel, getting zoomed off, and they're like, that's how it feels to smoke a Camel. Same thing like Gatorade, like how they do that, but that's how it was for them until it got outlawed.
Yeah, it's literally marketing. It's crazy how much is imposed into our lives just based off of big companies showing us that's what we should do.
And back to the start of instant gratification, we're set up to fail. That's what I was saying.
Do you know why? Have you ever heard of the term the American Dream?
Yeah.
Do you know who started that?
No, actually.
Bank of America.
You know who started Christmas in America? Coca-Cola.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Christmas was
All
a
right,
thing.
Wait. Let's do the Bank of America
Christmas
one first. Let's do the
yeah.
Bank of America one first. We got that deep down. Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
What? So back when it was like Bank America, before it was like
Before they were big.
Bank of America and all that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Before
they
they
used
had
their
started
name
now.
and the keepsake to come to them to achieve the American dream kind of thing?
Yes. So they were like, all right, so they needed to get more mortgages. The banks don't make money because you start an account. Banks make money because of fractionalized investing, which is you borrow money from them. Well, they take your money
And they
then they lend it out. But where they really they make the money when you put money into it. But where they really make the money is when they lend it out to multiple people. So fractionalized investing. So they're investing in multiple different things. And with that, they needed to get more people to get mortgages. So they ran this whole ad campaign based on the fact of the American dream is to own a house.
Have a family, white picket fence.
Well, they had to paint the image, but the real thing was home ownership, and then the commercials were a beautiful family living with a white picket fence with a beautiful dog
and a garden,
grilling.
and
Yep. And it was all about getting your mortgage, getting your loan with Bank of America.
And it's the same tie-in. Like the money you see, the numbers you see in your account, like they're not there.
Yeah.
Like your money's lent out. That's how they make their money.
Yeah.
But Coca-Cola, I don't know the entire story, but Christmas was a thing prior, obviously.
In other
and it was
countries.
Yule, it was Christmas.
It wasn't as commonly celebrated as it is now.
And then Coca-Cola started the polar bears, the red, the Santas, bringing it around.
Made it a lot more commercialized.
Like, you know, when you see the Coca-Cola commercials with the white bear and Santa, and like that started then, like in the 1940s, 50s, when Coca-Cola had Coke in it.
That's when Christmas got super popular.
It became really popular.
You might know more about this than I do.
I don't know enough to. I'm not going to act like I know tons about it. But I do know it. So they wanted to basically make it a way so they could make more profit, and they knew if they attached Christmas and Santa together, they could make more money with it. Like I don't really know a lot about it.
Yeah. I mean, it says 1931 is when it started.
Yeah, a big one.
It's on the
is like,
Coca-Cola website.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
But they're
open about it.
Yeah, they were like, we didn't create Santa Claus, but like we definitely advertised it to make him a jolly character we know today.
Yeah. And on top of that, like a modern version right now, you know how during December all you fucking see is Toyota-thon on the commercials? That's a Christmas thing they tie into.
Well, yeah, think about it. It's such a smart business move. It's like everybody's going to be spending money every year at this time of year.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. So that's why I'm like that. My issue with capitalism comes in because like I love it. It's the best. It's the best thing we have.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
but it's still not great.
So I know so many people who disagree with capitalism, and I love to bring up this point because I think capitalism has its faults. Yes, it has its faults.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, if you were getting surgery tomorrow, let's just say on your heart, would you just want a doctor or would you want the best doctor?
You'd want the best, yeah.
So that's capitalism.
And one thing I've realized is like with people that don't agree, and I've talked to them personally, like they agree with pure capitalism. And so pure capitalism isn't run by monopoly, is a free trade system, and it works. But when you get so delved into corporations running politics and pushing big pharma and oil, and that's when capitalism is still in play, but now all those seeking opportunities of capitalism are held up by these corporations, and that's where they grow that disdain. So pure capitalism, in its sense, I believe works, and it's an add value. You work and you get return. It's not like you're getting paid same wage for no matter how hard you work. But when all the corporations, and especially with the ingraining in the politicians, GOP, you can talk about all that stuff. That's when there's a break in what pure capitalism is compared to what is looked on now.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of because they have to break them up. They're always breaking up companies.
But it hasn't. But it got they only started breaking it up really in the late 1900s. But think about it. If you look, who are the politicians in the government fully most funded by? And that's how the stake in capitalism gets broke, because once you get corporations and money like laundering or corporations in general, right, ingraining into politicians, that's when you'll get the influence away from not being able to use it how you should.
Yeah.
But don't you think that, I mean, if there's going to be competition in capitalism, somebody is going to come out a winner at some point.
Yes.
And should that not be the natural state of things?
Yes, but if there's only one car maker in the world and they block off any other chance for anybody to make a car, then they can charge as much as they want for a car.
They put checks and balances on that.
Yeah, it's you need checks and balances in capitalism.
It's called a monopoly.
You need checks and balances.
You need checks and balances.
They stopped monopolies with the oil rigs because they knew that oil companies were taking over the entire game, and they were selling cheap terrible products for high prices, and they were like, we can't do this.
But now
that's where they made it so you can't do monopolies, so that there is chance for good quality.
Yes, but yet now that even though these broken up monopolies are broken up, now they're paying into politicians to win, and you can see how that grows back into what shouldn't happen. You get what I'm saying?
If I could change the world tomorrow, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Would I want a capitalist society? Fuck no.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck no.
No?
Man, no. Like,
No,
life
it's-
is difficult. Like, do I want to fucking work as hard as I do to make the money I make? No.
But in
if
this,
I could just blissfully live life, go surfing tomorrow, yeah. But we would have to take the entire United States and implode it from the center, because how you just described, everything for the years has been built on that idea. It's get on the train or get off.
yeah, and I agree. And that's the sucky thing about it. If you want to redo it, you have to break from the inside and rehash. But then in
Yeah,
real
we
sense,
talked
a
about that
lot
the
of
other
people
night.
get hurt. A lot of people get hurt if you try to do that. So it's almost like an unfixable system.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that the other night. Yeah.
And at the same rate, like, why I say I would want capitalism is,
Because you're a greedy pig.
well, one,
I'm just
yes,
kidding.
but two, we are a society, right? If we didn't have society, we wouldn't need those systems. But given that we are a society, we're built into people, you need a system to habitate that. And the problem with things that aren't capitalism in a sense, I believe, is incentive. And so capitalism breeds incentive. And if nobody has incentive to work, nothing works in society. And so that's why I think society and capitalism need to tie in to increase incentive to make it keep running.
Until we get AI. It does everything for us.
Surgery.
And back to my subject of being self-sufficient.
I don't know. I think it's almost impossible to be self-sufficient.
Yeah. In this day and age, that's why I'm trying to hold on to the bits and pieces I can.
Well, no, I would say it's really easy. You just have to take away the things.
But you would
just
have to
take
change
away
your
a lot.
goals. You would have to change what you want.
I don't want to, because I don't want that.
I'm tracking, but I'm saying if you wanted to do that, I would need to probably right away making millions. I would need to right away this business. My
That's
business
something
is my
that
phone.
I don't think you'll ever get away from the military tracking. You say it all the time.
Did I just say it?
Oh, we
Yeah,
were talking
all
about
the
that
time.
earlier. Yeah,
Yeah.
he said it's stuck
What's
with him.
something
Yeah.
that
I
you,
didn't even
that you still
realize.
do that you did when in the military? You do it all the time.
I said it to him, but I didn't realize I just said
Yeah.
it.
But no, to your actual point. So, no, you're 100% right. Like, you would have to change your entire life. But if you really look at it, the only things that you need: shelter, food, and love.
Yeah.
No, because humans need people.
Yeah.
If you're fully isolated, like there's studies that show you that you will go insane.
Yeah, you will have mental.
Yes.
Yes.
So those are like the only things you really need. And if you really wanted to live off the grid, you don't need a phone. Get 5 close people that want to do the same thing. Start a little community.
Yeah. For like, I call it a. I forgot what the coin term is, but it's like a needed evil. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. In a sense, like to get what I want, even though I can't agree with the way I have to go about it, it's what I have to do to get what I want.
Well, you do agree with it.
I do.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Okay. Now I'm confused.
But you just said I do agree with it.
Yeah, but you just said you do a little bit. So that's
Well, I
very
mean, yeah,
no.
I agree with I mean, I have to buy into the system I want to build.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of like me. It's like if you could change it, you would, but you
But I
can't.
can't,
So
so
you,
I have to do
yeah,
what I gotta
you have.
do.
You'd rather be a player of the game than not even in the game at all.
I'd rather abolish the game if I had the choice, but if I don't, I'm going to be the best player in it.
Yeah.
Do you think that's beneficial?
What do you mean?
Personally, yeah.
Elaborate if you
I don't think
just-
it's beneficial for everybody, but I think it's beneficial for me.
But if
Yeah.
everybody has that mindset, that is how capitalism works.
So this is the paradox of being selfish and selfish. Selfless. You know what
Selfless.
I'm saying?
Selfless.
Thank you. So, yes, do I think it would be great if I could go around and save the world? Yes. But do I realistically... So this is something that one of my mentors says. He says, I don't think there's a lack of people who want to do good things, but I think there's a lack of people who can do good things, meaning they have the time and the money to do good things.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to start all these great fundraisers to give back to people, animals, and things, but a lot of people can't do it because they can't escape the 9 to 5.
For lack of a better word, to be selfless, you have to be self-serving. And so in the same fact, I heard this recently, and it kind of dawned on me. If you want to be rich or you become rich and wealthy, you are, you can't argue it. By definition, you are self-serving. And in that fact, like you are hoarding, you're hoarding money.
Yeah.
But in that fact, how you use it is how you switch that concept.
So clearly, from how you're asking these questions, you're on the other side of the standpoint. So I'd love to hear your opinion.
You're talking about
on this topic of capitalism.
You didn't agree.
Selfishness. It's just how you're asking the questions are. There are controversial questions.
Yeah,
because
I just want to hear your side.
I think it's great. I like to see other people's opinion because it can give me a new idea. I'm not right about the only thing I know is I don't know anything.
Yeah, to assume you're right is you'll never grow in knowledge.
That's true.
I only know as much as I know from what I've seen and what I've done.
I mean, I think
you don't know what you don't know.
That's true.
True.
But that's blissful. Ignorance is bliss, no?
Yes,
so your opinion.
All right, so I think personally, I mean, obviously, it's just my whole thing is like the fact that like us, I just look at us as humans and we're like the fact that we're attached to everything. My whole thing is attachment, right? Because life is full of attachment. So like there's I think it's a Buddhist theory is like life is full of attachment. Attachment leads to suffering. Therefore, all of life will be suffering. And so it's I just get stuck on like the idea of people like capitalism, like economies, like this whole concept of like people pursuing so many different things. I'm like, why do we do that? Like, where did these ideas come from? Like, they came from at some point, and it's like, why? Like, my thing, like, I'm just always asking myself, like, why is this? Why is that?
I think that's great.
So it's like, I don't know. I just try to get everybody's perspective on like what they think is the best system, or like what they think would be ideal. And obviously you guys said like it's the best. I mean, I think it's the best what we have right now, best example that we can do.
Because what we're used to.
That's what we're used to.
Yeah.
And there's not really been any examples of things that have like worked. I think it's because of the whole.
That's not true. Go to other countries. I personally want to leave the U.S. When I can.
And go where?
So I don't know yet. So that's the thing, is that another topic that another idea that I firmly believe in, that as a younger man, you need to travel as much as possible to know where you want to raise your family. And I have lived in Germany. I've lived in New York. I've, spent a lot of time in Canada. I've spent time in a lot of European countries and I spent a lot of different places, a lot of different time in a lot of different places. And one thing that I've realized is life is very different when you leave the U.S.
Yeah.
And generally, from what I would look at right now, like I would personally move probably from the knowledge that I have now, probably to Germany.
Really? So what type of? But they're a capitalist society, correct?
I don't know, because I didn't dig
not
too
to
much
the
into
same
politics.
level.
Obviously not this. Yeah, we're number one at that.
Yeah.
Number one.
So. But like they also believe in things like free healthcare, which also does come with its down points of you get a doctor and not the best doctor, no matter how much money you have.
And you could also wait for 2 days to get seen. That's a thing in Canada with free healthcare. They're sitting in the ER with a bullet wound waiting to get seen.
Yes.
I wonder if do you know anything about their education? Like, so obviously they have free healthcare, but
so
like
their education system, it's similar to ours. The more money you have, the better schools you get into. The more you learn. So when I lived there, I know very minimal German, but I know a lot of English, clearly, somewhat. We're still learning, but a lot of the kids, when you spoke to someone in German, most of the time they came from better backgrounds because they could speak English, because that means they got better schooling.
Yeah.
So it wasn't always taught.
At a baseline, and speaking back to what I said at the start about imposing will on humans, right? Why I think I agree with capitalism over other, economical builds, societal builds, is it's the only one that accounts for the human condition, which is imposing will, which is incentive, right? So in a, let's say, socialist society, right, imposing your will incentive does not reward, and it will cause human instability, because that's one thing you have to account for. Humans, we are not robots. You can't, like, everybody has different drives, different goals, different wants. And so in capitalism, it rewards you for incentive, it rewards you for imposing will, while in other constructs, if you don't play the part that you got given, it doesn't work.
There's more positive reinforcement here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of negative drawbacks if you're not as bloodlusted as others.
Can I ask you a question? 45 years from now, where do you see yourself?
45 years from now?
Correct.
Honestly, probably doing this.
Okay.
Ideal world.
So when you say honestly, it sounds like you really haven't given it much thought.
Yeah, no, obviously, yeah, because 45 is what?
60 something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's honestly, I think, yeah, like I haven't thought that far ahead. It's more of like a
your
5,
your podcast
10,
is retired.
20.
You're rolling in your money and you're chilling with your
Well,
family.
he said that he's still going to be doing podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, this is fun.
Yeah,
I
agree.
like, I'm doing this for free right now.
Yeah.
And so, like,
Might as well.
if I got paid to do it, I would still do it.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy this. Like, I want to. Like, this is cool.
There is a real big paradox where it's like when you start doing something that's fun and then you start doing it for money, you starts to lose the fantasy.
It becomes work.
Because it becomes work. Because now you have to do it. Now you
Even when you
have
don't
to be
want to.
creative. I used to, for the first 6 to 8 months, loved real estate. Everything about it. And then I hit a fucking wall. So for about 4 months, because I started to get paid, so I started to not love it as much. And then, you know, I spent, time on my entrepreneurial journey and found a different way to look at things. But be careful of that.
But do you think it's...
You'll hit it when you start making a lot of money on here.
Well, think about it. Creativity, right? Creativity can't be forced. And so in the same right, when it becomes work, it becomes something you have to attend to a schedule to, and you don't feel the drive, you don't feel the want to do it currently, but then you're forced to do it, subconsciously you will build resentment of said whatever it is. And so when your passion becomes work and you're not passionate about it currently, you lose the passion you had when you are passionate. You get what I'm saying?
But also back to I mean, that's a great point. Really is, Peter. And really going back onto when I ask people what they plan for themselves in 45 years when they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s, or even when they're on their deathbed, most people give me that answer. You ask me that question? No, they don't know.
Yeah,
They just give me some blanket answer what they think they want me to say, or they just think that they want, but they've never actually given it any real thought. I would say for anybody, for you, sit with what you want, and then because I did it, I thought about what I want to be known for at my deathbed, and then I planned backwards. It's no magic. It's just a success principle. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. And this life is a game. If you don't have a strategy, you'll lose the game.
That is true. I mean, I think I have a strategy. I think I'm just, I mean, like,
You
obviously.
said think.
Until
That means you don't.
What do you mean?
Anybody who says, I think I can win, doesn't believe they can win. Anybody who says they think, it means you don't actually believe it. I will win.
And in layman's terms of his prior point, right? What I've found, and I had a conversation about it today.
It's not in layman's terms.
If you can't sit there when you don't want to do something and put your why in front of you and then make yourself do it, like you can't. So if you keep your why in front of you, it lights that fire. Like if I'm sitting there doom strolling and I think, what am I doing today? Oh, I might play guitar. I already did work. I might have to do some of these tasks later. Sitting there doom strolling, and I start thinking and like my why and why I'm doing this and what my goal is. It starts feeling ill. Right when I put my why in front of me and I see the activity that happens, it immediately comes ill. But if that why is not in front, it's just an activity that makes me feel good. You get what I'm saying?
Well, something I know you guys took shots, and like I've said a couple times on here tonight, is a lot of people ask me like why I decided not to drink. And I think one of the biggest reasons that I did decide to partake is I noticed a lot of times when I do it, one, I'm an alcoholic. Like I never got to the point where I got the shakes or anything, but I have an addictive personality. If you ask Peter, I'm all in or I'm all out. Yeah. So I'm very addictive. So when I did used to drink a lot, it wasn't just let's go out and have 2 drinks. It was like, let's go get fucked up every fucking weekend because I'm chasing this dopamine high. The point is I think alcohol is great, but I think it inhibits how you're actually feeling and what you actually want from life, because you'd rather distract yourself than doing what will build you. And I think sometimes it's not always, people don't do it out of malice or because they want to ruin their lives. I just think they don't know. I just think they never thought about what they want, so they never planned on how to get it. So they're just wasting the time around until they think it's just going to happen instead of making it happen. There's people who get fucked and there's people who do the fucking. They either just wait for it to happen, or they make a plan and they make it happen.
Yeah. And on the alcohol point, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
So think about the most recent best night you had, fucked up with the boys, and you're either getting a girl, having a good time, having a great time, either way.
Great nights.
Right? So if you could do that same night sober and feel the same way, would you? Or would you still drink?
So I have the exact same feeling.
Yeah.
But I don't have to drink.
You don't have to drink.
Would you still drink?
Damn,
These are the
that's in the
questions that you need to
capacity
ask
because you
yourself.
are capable of having that night.
You're just
Drinking
you don't want to be
takes
uncomfortable.
away. Yeah, drinking takes away what you were feeling prior and puts it in what's in front of you.
And what you're feeling current, because most people,
Yes.
like we talked about, when some people that you've even sat down and talked to, they're not so good with camera or even conversation. So put them in a realm where the only thing they can do is conversate. Most people want to,
be on their phone.
Yeah.
but now they can't because no one else is. So it's uncomfortable for them to sit there on their phone because then they're weird. So take that, put them in a situation where they can't do it, so they use something that inhibits their frontal cortex so it doesn't process as quickly, so it can't think about the feelings.
But think about it
call
this
it a
way.
night out
If
with
you
the
had
boys.
enough self-control, which is very achievable, if you hone yourself enough,
Well, it's
it is
failing
fully
forward.
capable
It
of having.
sucks.
But you're fully capable of having that same night sober.
Yeah.
You are. Everybody is.
I think it's the fact. I don't know, because I don't think I would go out at that point.
Yeah,
I
but
wasn't
if you
drinking.
felt that good, if you felt happy like
Why
that all
not?
the time, you
It's-
wouldn't drink.
Well, it's because, all right, I think the happiness of like enjoying myself, it doesn't turn off the part of like, you're wasting time.
Okay.
That part is on. Alcohol turns that off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it takes away your anxiety until the next day, and then it's 10 times worse.
And then you're,
Yeah.
no, it's not 10 times worse.
But if
But it's
in the
worse.
same rate, if you had enough, self-talk, enough self-control to go, hey, like I understand that I might be wasting time, but in every other capacity, this is helping me in my social life, how I feel, and or interaction with people. And if you can talk yourself off that anxiety, you're still fully capable of having that same night sober. You just, instead of having alcohol to front your frontal cortex off, your frontal lobe, you do it, because everybody is capable of doing it. Not turning it off, but having the same effect. Alcohol is a suppressant, and it's something they can attach to. It's another phone. It's another instant dopamine. So what I mean is that nobody wants to do the work to have that fun without the alcohol, because the alcohol is right there. Nobody wants to have those goals to get that feeling, because the feeling is right here. And that's the point I'm trying to talk on.
do you think overall?
I do not think.
What do you? Yeah, you're very big on wording. It's not think, it's do or will. Or,
But
no, I was just saying I don't think.
But what I mean,
but
look,
yeah.
the whole
I
point of
appreciate
that,
Thank
the
you.
whole point of that is,
Spent a long time trying to articulate my words properly.
even though vocabulary is vocabulary, every single word elicits a different reaction of
In
your
your
mind.
subconscious.
So if you change the words in your subconscious, you by definition will change how you feel. And that's why it's such a big thing.
like
I'm
I'm saying,
still-
yeah, because if you
it's
say
conviction.
like I will versus I think,
so
Yes.
let me ask.
I am
Here's
instead of I
am.
will.
This
I
is the
will,
quickest
yeah.
way to do it. Yeah, I'll try my best to, lose 20 pounds. I will lose 20 pounds. Which one do you think?
you sound more certain.
Which one gave you a
Second
cop
one.
out?
Yes. Yeah,
Which one
well,
gave
the
you
first
a
one,
buy?
yeah, obviously. I thought I was gonna do it.
I've seen so many people in real estate say, well, I think I'm going to give real estate a try. I know they're not going to make it. I won't see them in a month. I won't see them in a week. Because as soon as it gets tough up here or out here, because it's not fucking cheap to get into it. Like it's not it costs money, but you don't get paid money.
Yeah.
So
It's a very late reaction.
as soon as it becomes difficult, someone who just says, I'm going to try it, as soon as they hit adversity, they quit. That's another thing that I also look for in friends, is someone who can make a decision and commit. Like a lot of times I see a lot of people my age, and they can't make a decision. They say, I'll try, I might, I think.
And that's only been a big change for me recently. I was
Yeah.
very well like that, especially when I first met him. Like you can attest that I was very
Yeah, I did the same thing I was doing
Thinking
with
about
him.
everything.
Yeah. Like it's not. It's if you want to do it, you can do it. You need to. I can believe in anybody because genuinely, if I can do what I'm doing at the level I'm doing it at, anybody can do that as well.
He's a fucking retard.
A lot of polishing.
So am I.
Yeah, we're all retards in our own way.
God, yeah, I'm half autistic, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm
bro, I
really
failed the
starting to
first
think
grade
about
twice.
it. If I don't have the right sheet on my bed, I start wigging. It's fucking stupid.
Okay, I think that's all.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, okay, I wasn't listening.
That's your autism.
He just heard retard, and he was like, "Yep,
that checks out.
I was like, new ceiling. Like
Peter's talking again. That's a plan over there.
I actually just wanted an award at an award ceremony. It was a superlative, and it was like the #1 person to forget exactly what you just said right after you said it.
Is that really what you want?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys had like a dinner, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yeah.
I wasn't invited.
Oh, don't you?
He hasn't been on the team long enough.
No, I haven't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, that team, was that, but everybody, because I saw somebody's story. I don't remember whose story I saw.
Probably
somebody
Jermaine's.
Probably.
Because he posted a lot of videos and pictures of it, or America.
Yeah, one of them. And then there was like a ton of people. Like, is that all the people on the team?
Them and their +1s.
Yeah, so
okay,
so
okay.
the team, for lack of a better, only maybe 5 or 6 in that picture were actual outside selling house agents. The other ones are the support system for that.
It's okay.
I didn't spin on the mic. I promise.
Oh, don't. No one saw it.
There's 8 of us, not including Thomas.
7.
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10. Actually,
Yeah.
there's now 10 agents
So there's 10 agents.
that are out selling houses.
But then everybody else is the support system for the team, because usually in real estate, when you're a broker or an agent, you're by yourself. You're doing all this by yourself, and that's one of the benefits of the team, because you get a lot of that workload taken off of you. So all you can focus on
Thomas
is
paying
selling
you tonight?
houses.
So how does that how does that work?
No, I'm just buying it.
So are y'all supporters?
No, we're the
no.
agents
You're the
in front.
Yeah, I
Okay,
sell
okay,
houses.
okay. But were you always doing that? Or were you support at some point?
No, I've always
Always
sold
done
houses.
You always sold. Okay.
So
okay.
that's support is still a W-2. It's still a job.
Yeah.
When you start selling houses, you're fully commission based.
Oh, really?
Like, you know how we had admin?
Okay.
We had admin.
Yeah.
The
So,
fucking, yeah, that's yeah.
So who does the cold calling and stuff like that? Is
Us.
that support?
Yeah.
So that's not
Everybody
y'all.
who's
Oh.
forward facing with the houses and people are the agents.
So I set my own appointments. I go out. I go on my own appointments. I sign my own appointments. I negotiate deals on my own. And then once I get it on the property, once I find a buyer that wants to buy the property, that's when my admin team takes it, and I worry about doing that process over and over again.
Because for lack of a better word, as a single agent, you're gonna do that, but then you're also gonna fill out the contract forms. You're gonna drop off the right places. You're gonna call the people. You're gonna put out housing signs. You're gonna attend your open houses. You're gonna show the people. You're gonna show listings. But on a team especially, you're focused on that straight drive to find those houses, list those houses, and negotiate, while your paperwork and your other side tasks get handled for you, so you can focus on being the sell or the buy.
And y'all are commission.
Yes.
So the other people are salary.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so where does their money come from?
So
So
you know,
they take a part
when
of
we
your
sell a
commission.
house, you know, we give
But they
splits
just
to
get
a
paid
brokerage.
consistently if we're selling houses or
Yeah.
not. They get the same pay.
Yeah.
So if I sell a $1 million house, I'll make more money. If I sell a $200,000 house, I'll make less money, depending on that.
But yeah, for lack
They
of a
make
better
the
word,
same amount, and they get paid just like any other W-2 employee.
unless you are a really sole proprietor broker, you hang your license with a brokerage. And so every time you sell or buy, you get a split of your commission, and the other split goes to that brokerage or team, and that's what pays them.
Okay. So it's basically on the broker to it's on you guys to make sure the broker gets money to pay those employees.
Correct.
Because
Yes.
you guys don't sell
So-
any houses.
Because
it comes out of
that's part of us.
their
So,
pocket.
So I will
every
say
time we sell
it's-
houses, they get money.
So it's a little bit less on us because we don't. That is part of the admin team. So the admin team touches. We don't touch the money until we just get our portion. They handle everything. So one thing that's the real benefit of this team is I only focus on the highest dollar producing activity for my current business level, which is setting appointments, meeting appointments, signing appointments, and putting properties under contract.
Okay.
Dealing with the money and the legalities and getting the lawyers involved, not my job.
Okay.
Because that's not income producing.
But if we weren't on a team, that's all our job.
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes,
So you have to-
that's
I would
why
have to
they
do
get
everything.
paid. That's why they're there.
It's
Is
hard.
this common or no?
Teams are common,
No.
Okay.
but not to the extent that this team works.
So there's services out there that you can pay for that will do that some of that portion, but not to the level that they will handle every single transaction for us.
This team is a very well-oiled operating system that, and so if I shameless plugging, seeing other teams and especially single brokers operating, this is like high efficiency level compared to anything else.
Really?
And so it's like, yeah, like they take the outside agents, the brokers that sell, and they're like, hey, do everything you're good at, what you're here for. We'll do the rest for you.
Well, Thomas is on the guy who owns the team. Is honestly, he's a very smart businessman. So a year ago, I was on the podcast here, and I talked about the team and how it was really great. But one thing, even with the years of knowledge, one thing that I realized how he built the business is genius. So what he did is he built a back end team that take care of all the admin work and all the boring stuff. Because us gunslingers, entrepreneur-minded people don't want to deal with the small, monotonous, everyday thing. The 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. We want the excitement. We want the drama. We want the chaos. So what he did is he made a system that all of us entrepreneurial people could just plug into and work. And the real genius behind the business is we own a fraction of the business, like a franchise. So when we come and partner with the team, we also own our small business in it. So do you know why that's genius?
No, why?
Because it gets us to buy in.
Incentive.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yes.
It's like when they give you shares of a company and when you get hired, they're like,
Yes.
here, you're getting paid with shares.
And it's the best way to build a business for cheap because he doesn't need to pay inside sales agents or outside sales agents. We pay him for his model and his systems because he owns the system.
Yeah.
But we do all the work. It's absolute genius. And, and I'm not scared to admit it. I mean, it's kind of like
Ponzi scheme.
Yes, it's like a pyramid scheme. And the guy at the top's making all the money. And guess what? I can never make more than him. But so is in corporate life. Do you make more than your manager?
No.
Can you ever make more than your manager?
No. But in the same
that's a
token,
pyramid scheme, correct?
Well, so it's a pyramid scheme for lower benefit also because if we wouldn't
it just has a negative connotation as pyramid scheme. That's all pay structure.
Yeah, if we didn't make as much money as a single broker or another team, you can call it that. But in this opportunity, like even though we're not making as much as the head honcho, we're making more than we would anywhere else. So even though it's a pyramid scheme, it's a very it's well built. It's something you'd want to buy into.
Yeah.
And especially, and what's cool about it is once you grab all of this knowledge, you have all this thing, like you learn all this. What's to say you can't go do what he does now? You know what I mean?
That's true. That's what you're paying.
I was gonna say it's like less. I'm assuming there's less turnover too.
Higher turnover.
There's higher turnover.
So on the team,
on our team,
the team has sold 3 times more houses in a year than the average team in the country.
But I'm saying like in terms of like an agent that's by himself has to do all the paperwork, do all that legal stuff.
Oh yeah, there's higher turnovers and it's back to back to back to back. Yes.
So this is what will happen. Let's just say tomorrow's your first day on our real estate team, and you want to come and build your business with us. That's great. Your first day, you're going to be making 500 dials outbound.
It was a fucking shit show, dude.
So, that's just day one. I mean, I'm not saying it gets worse or it gets better, but I'm saying the first day you have to sit there and call 500 random people that are not expecting your phone call, do not want your phone call, just to see if we want to keep you on the team.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, Thomas is also investing his time.
Wait, was that really being watched? I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, if you didn't hit the 500 dials, you weren't coming back for day 2.
Really?
Yes.
They told me if you didn't hit it, you come back tomorrow to try again. I didn't know. I guess that was
maybe he's being kind.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have done it before where we let people come back and try it again. But a lot of people, they'll start doing the 500 dials and they'll leave because they understand. Well, they don't understand how hard it is to build a business from the ground up. Some real estate agents, which is great, have this thing called SOI, which is sphere of influence, which is the network that we talked about. 25, don't have that network, need to build that network.
Yeah.
What's the fastest way to get a paycheck? Someone who's already thinking about selling. Why would I wait 6 years for your grandmother to move when someone's literally actively on the market and I can call them when they come off?
And what are the biggest
Tell
things?
me what's easier.
that 500 dials is a test to if you have the grit to face your failure and drop your ego and keep pushing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been fucking like
Tell them what was going through your head.
Every time I hit the bathroom, I was like, "Fuck, I want to quit. This is fucking dumb." Like they have better leads. They know who they're calling. I'm calling people that they're not calling. What the fuck?
We do not. It's the same leads.
No, they call the same fucking people. Yeah. And they sign those people that told me to go fuck myself on the phone.
Mm-hmm. It's just a skill.
And like when I sat there and I looked at the guy next to me and he's like, "Yeah, I make like $300 a year." I'm like, "Huh?" And so that's like, oh, fuck. Like, if this is a problem. I am the problem. And if you don't have that realization, it's not going to last.
So you want to start your career in real estate?
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Not a fan. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I think I would, because it's basically you eat, what is it? You eat what you kill.
Yes.
Yeah, versus like regular job is like, you're going to eat regardless of how much you kill.
And that's the thing.
But you can never eat more.
Yeah.
But you can never eat more.
The fact that I can go get an elephant by myself gives me like adrenaline. And that's really what brought me to that.
What? This is going to sound crazy, but someone in your company that's been there for 5 years, average, what are they making a year? Just a ballpark.
Anywhere from 110 to 160.
Okay, so that's somewhere between 110 and 160. That's after 5 years.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay, so in 5 years in 1 year, 2 years in this business, the kid's making $100,000.
And that was the guy we were talking about earlier.
Can you see how it compounds a lot faster?
Yeah.
So there's another guy on the team who makes 300. He made
310.
No, he makes that now. But take it back to his 5th year in the business, and he sold 114 houses. He made $600,000.
What? In 1 year, he sold 114?
Yeah.
Just to put in perspective, the average real estate agent sells under 10 houses a year. And that's why I'm saying a test to the efficiency of the team. So when you say,
but is there a number? Is there like an average market value? Like so you say like the average is
465,000 is the average price point in Charlotte.
Roughly they're selling 4.6 million.
$500,000 is the average median around.
So roughly the average real estate agent sells almost like 4 million to 5 million.
No.
What do you mean?
No. So if you're saying, I'm saying each house is roughly 460,000, right?
Yes.
And
okay, now I see what you're saying.
So that's what I'm saying. Roughly,
the average agent. If I'm being 100% honest with you, the average agent that is producing is closing 6 to 8 houses a year. That is producing. Most agents last year, it was like oh God, it was so saddening.
Every agent had an active license.
No, not even that. Because there's agents that were producing, and then there was agents that were not producing. Most agents have an active license, like he was going to say, but aren't selling any houses at all.
Yeah. So the median average is under 1 house a year.
It goes back to where
the median is. You said the median is 1, right?
It's less than 1 if you account for every active agent.
Like 8 to 10.
No,
I'm saying, but the average is skewed.
Well, I'm saying a good agent.
People that are selling 114. So it's going to shift.
A good agent sells about 8 a year.
Oh, a good agent.
Yes.
So what's a good agent out of like all the people that you work with?
That we work with, everybody, because we all do this full time.
Okay.
Like this is all we do. We don't have second jobs.
I am the worst agent in the building because I just started.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be better than most of your competition in like
Absolutely.
a month.
So I feel like I'm already better on the phones than most of them anyway, even though I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
They also have different business models. I mean, every agent does it differently.
What's the cap?
There's
not a cap, but like in your like, there's only so many houses you can sell.
No.
What do you mean?
Because
there is only so many.
You're thinking like an employee.
Well, no, because there's amount of time. There's only so much time in the day. There's only so many houses.
No, you're thinking like an employee.
What do you mean?
If I hire you, and you're right. There's 24 hours in a day, right?
Yeah.
Let me break your brain. So 24 hours a day. I hire you. I hire him. I make you both work 10 hours a day, or you guys want to work 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Guess how much hours I just got?
20 hours. Yeah.
You got 44.
So.
Oh, plus years.
Yes.
28.
So is it really 24 hours a day, or are you just not thinking big enough?
Well, I'm saying without the employee.
Well, then you're not thinking big enough.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying, like, what's like before you can like
there's teams that do hundreds of thousands. Well, that do not hundreds.
It's like it's 600,000 the biggest that the team has seen. that year?
They've sold over
Price point
$1.2
or
million
numbers?
houses.
I meant like you said one employee sold
114 houses.
Is that like
Yeah.
that's the most somebody on the team has
Yes,
ever sold?
correct,
Okay, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Correct.
But
That's
think
what I'm
about
trying
it
to
this
get
way.
at.
Let's say we'll do the
obviously
math
you can
real
beat
quick.
That's a good question. But that's just our team. There's teams out there that
Well, there's like
Yeah.
what's the Ryan Seahart? Was it? You know what I'm
Ryan
talking
Serhan.
about? Sirhan.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy is like. Is he like the Michael Jordan of real estate?
No.
He's
Not
just
even close.
really.
Yeah. So if you actually know his backstory, he was on a podcast called the Million Dollar Real Estate Agent, and he actually talked about it. He almost got out of the business. The only thing that saved him, because he used to do rentals in New York, which is still very big because rentals there is a different whole ball game than it is out here. So he almost got out of the business, and then he applied for this, real estate agent reality show. And he went in there and he never thought he was going to get it. So he went in there gun ho and he got it. And then he was on the show. And of course, you tell me if someone saw you on a TV show, and you'd probably feel inclined to use them because they feel like an authority on the subject.
Yeah.
If they're on the TV. So that's where he started building the business. And that's where he's a genius. He didn't stop. He learned and continued to build it. Now he has his own Netflix show, which is genius because it's marketing on its own. He's an absolute genius that he didn't get lucky because he did it and he intentionally did it. But he saw opportunities and he took them.
Can I pose you a question? So you were talking about like the capacity of working by yourself 24 hours in a day, right?
Yeah.
I did the median average of houses times 144, and then I multiplied that by 2%. Right? And this guy in question didn't get 2% on average from this total sum. 2% of those houses is over $1 million. If he got 2% of every one of those sales, he would have made over $1 million that year. So he got less than 2%, made $600,000.
Well, that's gross. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
but-
whole different thing. You
yeah,
got to pay taxes
either
and then your
way-
brokerage.
Either way.
There's a lot of fees that come out.
What I'm saying is, so
don't think we're making $1 million
What other-
that easily.
what other job do you know? What other guy, person, woman do you know that makes over $500,000 a year that's not in a corporation that like works for themselves without having anybody else work for them?
It's honestly not that difficult.
No, like what I'm saying is once you get to that level median, at that rate on average, usually you have people working for you, you're yielding that. You're increasing the
you have
hours in the day,
employees.
right?
Yeah, you have employees.
But when you're talking about, you talked about there's only 24 hours in a day. That guy by himself did over $500,000 with 24 hours in a day. And so that's why I talk about cap, because I can reach that level by myself. And so once I get the by myself done, once I have people under me doing it, it's exponential.
Yeah, that's why I was just curious, like, because I mean, there's probably people out there that don't want employees, because I mean, employees are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but doing
you gotta
this
hire
every
them,
day
it's
for
a
a
lot.
year, making over $500,000, you'd be chill with
You'd be
that.
fine with
That
that.
that goes into personality types, and it's honestly, there's nothing wrong with not wanting to own a business.
Absolutely.
Honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, it's not like it's stressful. It is terrible. It's scary. It's intimidating. It's not fun. Like, personally, sometimes you think about it and it's not worth the reward. But then other times, when I think about it, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do.
Because the lows are a lot lower, but the highs are so much
15
higher.
times higher.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Where one of my mentors once told me, he was like, you can either have $100 problems or you can have $100,000 problems. Both are problems. Both you will face. The choice is yours.
And at the same rate, like, and I don't think either of us here today have been saying like our philosophy, how we view things does work for everybody. It doesn't. Everybody has different wants, different things. We talked to another gentleman recently, sat at a table in trivia, and all he wanted was time to bike, time for himself. He wanted enough money to live, and he wanted time to do his things.
But
and there's nothing wrong with that.
If he get all that time and make passive income doing it, he'd say yes.
Yeah.
If he never had to work and still got the money, I bet he would change his mind. But it's some people. But then when I'll leave it at that.
Either way, some people think differently, and that's absolutely fine. But what I'm trying to pitch here, not over growing wealth, generational capitalism running through, it's more than that. I'm just using that as an analogy to pitch wanting better for yourself and not stopping the drive. Because if you don't stop the drive and you don't play the game to win, you just play the game to continue the game, it doesn't matter what endeavor you're in, you will work better.
That's true. And I mean, you guys are a whole different personality type than like most people are. Most people are like the 9, like wake up at 8, go to work.
I'd kill myself, dude.
And just work till 5.
Like
You're like, do my hobby
goal,
or go home and like
one of
watch
my goals
TV
is I want to text in. I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna be gone for 5 days, and I chartered a plane to go snowboard the Swiss Alps, right? And I can come back and pick up my computer and work. And so on the same rate of I don't want a cap. I want to work as hard as I can to get what I want. And on the same rate, I want to have the freedom to not work when I don't want. And that's one of the things I wouldn't be able to stick with a 9 to 5. I would feel, I feel already like boiling potential wasting itself, and I can't keep going like that.
So do you guys think, because so in like investment theory, it's like risk aversion versus risk seeking. You guys are obviously
risk seeking.
More risk seeking.
No, this is how I look at it. And you have a W-2 job. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So you have this is how I see it. A very pro risk. If I'm not taking a risk, I'm probably not. Yeah. I'm not happy. What do you do for work? I know these are common questions, but just
I'm a financial analyst.
Okay. And did you need a degree for it?
Yes.
Okay. And you live in this very nice place, right? Okay. And let me ask you: married, girlfriend, wife, kids?
None.
Okay. And that's all great. Do you think that if you had to re-get the position that you have, re-get this apartment, and re-get the relationship that you have, you could?
Oh, like if I needed to do it again? Yeah.
Okay. So what's the point of not taking risk for bigger reward?
Yeah.
That's true.
You mind if I give you 2 analogies?
There is no point.
We talked about it prior. But first one is, so put in perspective, the highest mountain in the world isn't even visible by humans. It's underwater. It's deep underwater. Nobody can fucking see it, right? So people relate it to Mount Everest, right? It's the highest peak above sea level. So you equate the highest mountain to above sea level.
Yeah.
And on the same token, you can't have that high of a tip without the bottom part of the valley to label where it started. And so in the same concept, you can't get to the top of the mountain you want without the risk of falling down that valley, because the higher the mountain you go, the bigger the valley there is. Yeah. And so talking prior about happiness and fulfillment, when I equated it to challenge, right? The more the fulfillment you feel directly reflects on how hard your challenge was. And so my last analogy would be, you can sit here and say, fighting a bear is risky. Absolutely. Most people are going to fucking die. But now, behind the scenes, you took every swinging dick class you could about defense against a bear, but no, everybody just sees human against bear. And so putting those 2 analogies together, yes, we're risk oriented, but we prepare. And that's the entire premise. I do. There's a difference between planning and preparation. Planning will break if something fails because nothing can go according to plan. But preparing for anomalies is how you get through it. But from the first point, you can't climb a bigger mountain without risk of falling farther.
That's true. And I mean, some people are scared of maybe you get up the mountain and then you realize halfway up.
You say some people like we're not some people. You think I don't wake up and I'm like, fuck, how am I going to pay my bills next month? I'm commission based.
I'm only 2 weeks in this job, and every single morning I have to reconvince myself to get on the phone still. I still have to. I go into that job saying, good morning, everybody, acting fine, but I'm sitting there like, fuck.
You were going to say?
I was just talking about like some people aren't willing. They'll climb up that mountain and then they'll get halfway and they'll realize, oh, there's not a path up this mountain. I need to go back down, all the way back down, and find a new route. And I feel like it's something
because I can't commit.
You got to carve your own route.
You can't do that. I mean, commitment
yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
What do you mean?
There's a difference between failing and like knowing when something has ended its avenue. You know what I mean?
Define failure, actually.
Define failure. Actually, yes, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Failure. I could tell you every analogy in the book, but if you can't define failure, the question is moot.
Define failure.
Define failure. See,
because I want to
all
use
these
the word.
people
I want
use
to use
these
the word.
buzzwords like happiness, failing, but can't define the word. Do you not see the problem in that?
Can I give you my definition?
A failure, yeah.
When I stop trying. It's only failing when I take the L and I'm like, all right, I lost, and I leave it. There's no such thing as failing if you retry, because you didn't fail it. If you succeed, all those failures didn't matter, because that wall is now crossed over. Like, just because you didn't climb the wall the first 15 times doesn't mean you, like, getting over the wall is impossible. Once you believe it's impossible, then you failed. But if you failed a million times and got over the wall, people are only going to see the time you got over the wall.
That's true.
They're not going to see you. They're on the other side.
So
yeah. It's interesting you ask that, because like I never think about the concept of failure, but I also don't think of like failing as an option.
yeah. So one time I actually
Like
spent,
I've never thought of that.
yeah. So it's really great because I actually thank my mother for this personally. Like, she told me once when I was a kid this exact philosophy. She said, failing isn't doing the wrong thing. Failing is giving up. And that's another thing that I took from my family, that honestly is my superpower is grit. Might always be smiling and acting happy, but it's really like staying with it and fucking just keep on moving, not giving up. That's where most people fail. And I will say you have to take a lot of, like, I'm not saying go and try something and try for 20 minutes and be like, you know what, 20 minutes tomorrow, we're gonna get better. I mean, you will get better. It just will take you 10,000 hours to ever master anything.
Yeah.
Whether you do that in a week, a month,
I keep doing that shit.
5 years.
Keep going. I'm not trying to kill your point.
Yeah, so it's the idea of mastery. It takes 10,000 hours. And of course, this theory has been debunked multiple times by different people. I just like it because it kind of gives you something to quantitate on how long it should take you and your realistic of expectations. Like, Peter here just joined the team and he's asking all these questions like, why don't I have leads? Why am I not like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you're looking at too short of a timeline.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing. I was judging other people and I'm like, he's setting appointments. Why am I not? Because I was looking at too short of a timeline. Most people don't understand that it takes 10,000 hours, which is, break it down, 10,000 hours is 40 hours a week for 5 years.
Yeah. It's 5, yeah.
5 years to master anything.
And I like that analogy. I take it as the day you stop trying to get better is when you get worse. You don't stay the same. Like when I talked to you prior, you can only get better or worse. You can't stay the same every day. And so on the moment, 10,000 hours takes you to master. So once you sit there and say, "Oh, I mastered," that's when you're wrong. That's when you're wrong.
That's true.
Because that's when your ego takes part.
Yeah, I don't think you can ever master anything, honestly. You can be the best,
Like,
but you can't
there's
stay.
billions of people on this planet. There's at least one person better than me at every single thing I do. Like, maybe not everything, but there's at least one person. Like, when I do a task, there's people better than me at that thing. I am not the best at anything.
Correct. Yeah.
At anything.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody. Well, I don't know. How do you keep yourself sane with that? Like, you're like, oh my God. Like, is it just improve?
Being sane,
Ooh. Come on, Peter. Take it home.
I just began to love the chase. And that's the token about it. I began to embrace change.
Can I give a devil's advocate?
You give
on
your
this?
nip, bud. I'll go after because I know you have yours loaded. I can see it. You're licking your lips.
Yeah, please ask the question.
Wait.
How do you stay
how do you keep
sane,
yourself
Dylan?
sane with the?
I don't.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
we
yeah.
don't.
Like, I mean, you guys probably know Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, as much as people don't like him or whatever,
I think he's genius.
Yeah, he's 26.
Yeah, he's an absolute genius.
Yeah, the most famous YouTuber
Absolutely.
on. Yeah, like he said, if I cared about my mental health, I wouldn't be doing what I do.
Yeah. I personally, I do believe mental health is a real thing, but I believe that most people are reactionary based, where they wait for the problem to fix it. I believe if you implement checks and balances in your life like a system, and I'm sure Mr. Beast does, to kind of keep himself at a level. It's a quote that someone said once: find 80, whatever you're doing, find what the 100% is. Then go back down to 80 and do that for 2 years on belief.
Yeah,
the whole
that's true.
Yeah, the whole idea is because anybody who tries to do something at 100%, they will fail because then you're going to get burnout. Like I see it in a lot of people, and I did it originally in this business in real estate, where I was doing everything and I was studying and I was literally working from 7 a.m. till about 10 p.m. And I burned out after the 6 months or 8 months. But then when you just do 80% of what you can do, and Mr. Beast has been doing it for much longer than I have, so he's implemented more systems and his mind's expanded more, so he can do more because his capacity for 80% has expanded. So what might be stressful for you is normal to him because he's been doing this and his level of stress has been building and building and building. He's mentally calloused. Like a lot of stuff today, none of it is business tactics. It's all actually business mindset. Like if we're being 100% honest, it's all like the entrepreneurial mindset.
At the end of the day, I half agree with him. And on the other sense, like I stay sane because I tell myself I am the man who acts. I am the person that is capable of this. Comes back to identity and back how we talked about. At this rate, you're fucking gaslighting yourself if you want to call it like that. Either way. But when you change your verbiage, change how you think. Like I stay sane because I'm grounded in myself. And I understand like that my only cap is me. And the only person that's going to push me as hard as I can is me. And I am my own keeper. And I am. I am him.
I am.
Like I'll be honest. No man is better than me. I am not better than any man.
Yeah.
And I'll say that straight.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And at the same rate, like I began to love the human condition, like we were talking about. The fact that I get to, like, do everything I can for what I want, and like that's how I stay sane.
How do you
hard.
Stay sane?
Me?
Yeah.
I know that there's only so much time I have on this planet, and I'm gonna die at some point. So
and you got to make it worth your while.
Go after it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I always see those videos where it's like 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds, and they're like talking about their regrets. Like, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. The goal is just not to have any regrets when I die.
And a part of that is changing the philosophy. There is no bad decisions. Hindsight will always tell you the bad decision. No, it's the decision that made with the opposite knowledge you had. And so if you sit there and wander on your bad decisions, that's how you'll stay there forever. And that's something I don't do and I stopped doing, and that's what's kept me sane.
I think it is difficult because I think at one point I was doing that.
Yeah, and so there's a difference between dodging
Mm-hmm.
accountability and giving yourself grace and accepting your drawbacks and still taking accountability for the actions you had. And it sometimes looks the same on the outside, but it's a way different inner working.
All right, last question. Do
Sure.
you guys think you'll ever retire?
No.
What's your definition of retirement?
What's
Yeah.
your definition of retirement?
Yeah.
Because retirement could be, I don't think I'll ever, if I do retire, it's going to be from doing something I don't want to do.
I don't think I'll ever stop working. And so I think if you want to call retirement like laying my hat of money, like trying to actively, physically myself make money, like currently without passivity in any way, that will happen at some point. But I will never stop trying to grow and have the other people around me grow. Like that. And that's say again?
You won't do that American dream retirement that has been fed to us by
No.
That's
Bank
impossible.
of America.
That's
No.
It's actually,
I'm going to have the Sallemi compound in Montana, and when I retire, I'm going to be teaching my grandkids and great-grandkids how to do what I did and be better than me. And so, I mean, I'll call retirement death because I can no longer grow anymore.
I have a little bit of a different outlook than most people when it comes to retirement.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like the whole conventional, let's work 30 years, let's work 40 years, let's even work 10 years. There's a very interesting book called The 40-Hour Workweek. And it goes into the idea that, like, why not just take mini retirements? I actually plan on, not this year, not next year, but in 3 years from now, for an entire year, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to leave the U.S. I'm going to sell my car, break my lease, or, have my mortgage. Yeah, rent out my house. And I'm not a backpack type of guy. No, I don't want it. I'm just gonna sell my car. I'll buy a new one.
No, I'm talking about your household things, like, you know, bed, everything.
No, I'll
like that.
probably rent it out as a furnished home for a year, because there's no point of like
Airbnb that shit.
So I don't believe in the whole idea that retirement needs to be waited for. I believe that we should take retirement within standpoints. Like in the next 5 years, I want to take a year break.
Smelling the roses.
I mean, that's smart, because I went to Egypt recently.
Yeah,
dude, and all the people there, they're like,
I'm so
visiting, are like 70. They're all in their retirement. They can barely walk.
No, I want to be full and able when I see it.
Yeah, like it's like kind of depressing. It's like they worked all these years, and now they can finally travel, and they saved up all that money, and they're like, they can barely do anything.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people ask me they don't understand why I love working so hard, and it's because if you want a life that others wish or dream they could have, you have to do other things that people wouldn't want to do.
See, we have the same thought process and agreement, except I'm more of a week every year. You're a year every 3-4 years.
See, that's because you look at time like everybody else. I look at time differently. If I work hard for the next 4 years, I can take an entire year off. You see week as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Well, at the same rate, once in a lifetime opportunities come around twice a year. And
but then how's it once in a lifetime? That is so contradictory.
That's the whole point of the statement, Dylan.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't believe in once in a lifetime opportunities.
From a human from the person that's getting it perspective, once in a lifetime opportunities come around twice a year. And so I'm using that to negate my argument, so I can double tap my argument, which is, at the same time, like I value experience just as much as I value work. And even though that year off absolutely would be a grand wow experience, Jesus, it'll be life changing.
It will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yet, having that week touching the world at this day and age, I won't touch it again at this day and age. The next time I touch that place, it'll be an entirely different place.
That's fine.
And so, when it comes down to, like, I don't want to smell the roses most of the time, but at the time and place, I want the ability to spend smelling roses when I want to. And so we have that same thought process in that aspect. And even though I might just say I look at it yearly, I just expect myself to let myself give yearly.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. Everybody looks at things differently. I mean, there's a reason. So I love that. And I just think in my phase in life.
No, absolutely.
There's no reason. There's
no wrong answer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's no reason for me to. I don't know what roses I want to smell yet, because I'm not where I want to be in life.
Absolutely.
And that's fine if you are. I'm not saying you are, but it's fine if that's fine with you. And yet, these roses aren't the roses that I want to be smelling.
You want to run through the rose garden when you're ready to see the roses.
Something close to that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you all the tips and tricks,
buddy. It's fine.
But
I got to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
No. All right, well, we're kind of like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching this, I love you. This is probably the most motivational, inspirational, and just like informative podcast that I've had yet. And so, if you're still watching this, you definitely got some value out of it. I know I got some value out of it. Especially with the wording that Dylan loves to use. Especially there's fuckers? Or fuckies and fuckers.
You either get fucked or you're doing the fucking.
So, yes, there's people who are either getting fucked in this world, or there's people who are doing the fucking. You get to choose, and when you do, that's when you control your life.
Yep. And I will put all the information down in the bio below. These are going to be the two of the biggest real estate agents in Charlotte.
He's going to be the biggest podcast in the world.
Honestly, my goal in the next 10 years is not to even be an agency. I'm just going to own a brokerage.
Well, one thing I will say, the next podcast will be a lot more funny.
I'm not a funny guy. I'm not going to lie.
I love jokes. We just got serious this time. Next time we can fuck around.
I'm not a funny guy.
Yeah, Iceman. All right.
Chill out. Cool out.
All right. I'll see y'all.
Carry on, my gay bird son.